right, here we go. Busy Monday. It is 9/11, so we will discuss the events of 22 years ago. You know, my daughter Chloe just turned 22 back on August 20th, and of course 9/11 happened just, a couple of weeks after she was born, and that is always every birthday that Chloe has, I remember. And of course 9/11 was just a day that will also live in infamy, just a day that none of us can forget. You know, there's another story that I stumbled upon about a TWA pilot. And this is like a story that nobody knows. I didn't know about this story. There's a very interesting TWA story about a pilot on 9/11, which I'll get into later on. Folks, welcome to the program. 6:01 at the MJ Morning Show. On a much happier note, Buccaneers surprise upset win of the Vikings in Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. So no one expect the Bucs to win the season opener on the road away. The Bucs were supposed to lose that game, and the Bucs ended up winning.
Yes, that's true. Remember the...
Can you guys just look at each other? So
we're both looking at you, so we can't look at each other.
Yep.
Remember that one sports book who said the Buccaneers would win one game?
Well, that could be it. This could be the one and only. Was it DraftKings? Was it?
So far, they're right.
And then, what was it? Then Sports Illustrated, they said, no. One game, one win, nah. And Sports Illustrated came out and said the Bucs will win two games. Two games. Two. And so we'll see.
Both services still are on track.
Yeah. Roxanne, you were saying at the same time as Fester?
I was actually going to say...
By the way, I assign no fault there because you both spoke at the same time.
No. It's like offsetting penalties.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so Roxanne, you were saying?
I was actually going to say the exact same thing, except I was going to say the Bucs were predicted to win 2 games this season, so they got one out of the way. But what's kind of interesting is you don't know what to expect for the new quarterback, so maybe that helped. Maybe that helped the Buccaneers. They've been, when you used to play the Bucs, you knew what Tom Brady was about. You had plenty of game film to watch. And some of the other new quarterbacks across the league did too. It's like they surprised the other teams.
All right, surprise football, surprise Sunday football. So, all right, well,
surprise.
Got a little more on the Bucs. We'll get to it later on. So what? 2017 win over the Vikings.
Yeah.
So one win out of the way. Hey, I got cut off by a car today. Pretty good cutoff. I mean, within a foot of my front bumper, doing 65, 70 on the Howard Franklin. It's you just don't want to be cut off. But I wanted to point something out because I was cut off in a fashion that alarmed me. And then I'm looking at the car in front of me. It was a dark-colored Honda Pilot that cut me off about 5:28 or so on the Howard Franklin. But I noticed it was a Honda Pilot because it had the little placards, glued to the back of the vehicle. SUV, Honda Pilot, fine vehicle, and not a fine driver.
No.
And I go to look at the guy's license plate just to see, what's going on here. And the whole license plate was covered up. I mean, it was just, it wasn't one of those smoked license plate covers. The dark, like smoked plastic license plate cover that people put up to make it difficult to see the license plate. No, this was more like, how do I describe it? It was almost like a clear cover, except it was like all scratched. Well, the best way to describe it, it was a clear-ish, but it had yellowed. You know what it's like? When you see cars that are older with the headlight covers that are all like fogged up and they're all, what's the word I'm looking for? Not fogged, but they're
like muted.
That's the word, not muted. But I know what you're saying, but muted's the wrong word. Clouded. Andrew just said it in my ear. I don't know if that was on the air or off the air, but clouded. So you get those old cars that have the plastic headlight covers, and the plastic is all clouded. I know there are companies out there that supposedly do like headlight restorations, and I think you can buy stuff off the shelf at like AutoZone or Pep Boys or whatever.
I was watching a guy online do it with like toothpaste and a potato.
Really?
You just put toothpaste on it because it has a little grit.
Bro,
and then
yeah.
you circle the potato around like 10,000 times. Oh,
Great.
yeah, you could do that really easy.
Yeah, I'm sure that works well. Anyway, so this guy had a license plate cover. Could have been a woman as well. I don't know. And that had a license plate cover that, I mean, it was so clouded. It was a cloudy, and it was clearly deliberate, so you couldn't see the license plate. I couldn't see what state it was. I couldn't see nothing. You know, I wanted to see, man, is this a Florida driver? What is it? And even if it was a Florida driver, would I have been able to tell? Because you know that Florida has 140 different license plates. You know, when I was at DMV getting Julian's license, you know, they've got all the license plates on the wall. And I counted, I think, 137 license plates that you can get in Florida. I mean, that's insane. How do police even know what state? How does anyone know what state some of these plates are from? I don't think you do.
Yeah.
So anyway, the bottom line is I wanted to point this out in the opening moments of the show. So whoever the douche wagon, and quite literally, who cut me off pretty severely on the Howard Franklin this morning, where your license plate was completely obstructed, obviously deliberately, with some kind of a plastic cover that's all clouded. You know that's illegal. Do you know technically it's illegal to, even if you have a crystal clear cover, crystal clear, that's illegal. That according to Florida statute, you're not allowed to cover your license plate with anything. In fact, people have gotten pulled over because of the dealer frame. Because many of the dealer frames where it says so-and-so, Ford, hey, John McMartin, Johnny Mac, our old engineer, he's still there, over at the old radio station we used to work at, John McMartin, he was pulled over years ago because he had like a dealer-installed license plate bracket, or whatever the heck. I can't remember what, but he had just a license plate bracket around his license plate, and it like cut off a little bit of the word Florida on the license plate, or whatever, maybe the county, whatever. And he got pulled over, got a ticket for obstructing the license plate. So two things which are important here. If you have a cover and you got one of those, deliberate covers, like the smoked dark plastic cover to mute, so that's in that fashion. I think
right.
that works. You know, to obscure or mute the license plate, letters, numbers, that's illegal. You can't put anything over your license plate, and then even a frame that covers up any of the significant portions of your license plate, that is illegal. And a cop can pull you over here in Florida and give you a ticket. So just a little heads up and warning. So the smoked plastic license plate cover, illegal. And even a clear one, technically illegal, but I don't think you'll get pulled over for that. But a license plate frame that covers up like the state. I mean, look if you've got a dealer-installed plate, or if you're rocking a Florida State or a Gators license plate or whatever.
Rocking that plate.
Yeah, that could be problematic.
Mm-hmm.
And even like this deliberate, I hadn't seen this clear plate. It was like yellowed clear, but it was like, again, like those headlights that are all clouded up. And I couldn't see jack on this license plate. So everyone thinks they're all cutesy-wootsy covering up their license, but you're going to get pulled over. So that's the bottom line. At some point, you're going to get pulled over. And then are you going to have a bag of meth in your car when they pull you over? Are you going to reek of alcohol? You know, you can have kidnapped kids in the back seat. You know, listen, all kinds of crap can go on. All right, just getting rolling here. Hey, guys, I need to do some housekeeping when we get back.
Okay.
I've got some show housekeeping. I got to know a couple of things for planning purposes, because we decided on a last-minute trip. Okay. So I'm gonna get into that here in just a minute. All right, 6:09, just getting started. Busy MJ morning show here on a Monday. And we're back in a minute here on Q105. MJ and the crew. Pat's got traffic.
Going.
So, yeah, she passed away, but that's right, torched her boyfriend's house, Andre Rison. That's right.
Old football player.
Yep, and it was in the Atlanta area. Did she go to prison for arson for that? I'm trying to remember. Or did she skate on that deal? Anyway, TLC. I'm bringing up all the good memories here on the MJ Morning Show. I got a couple of questions. First of all, I need to know scheduling for a couple of reasons. First, though, I've got a question for you, Roxanne, if you don't mind. Early this morning.
Is this a housekeeping?
No, this is not the housekeeping yet. The housekeeping's coming up. You raced out of the studio during the last break, and then Fester said, oh, yeah, Roxanne goes to her car every morning at this time.
Nope, you guys don't know what I do. You don't know what I do.
But then, wait a minute. Wait a sec. I know why Froggy makes many trips to his vehicle during the show. We'll go to a break, and Froggy is like, the cartoon noise, that with the feet pedaling. Yeah, I think we have that sound effect in the computer, Andrew. If you get it, just play it.
It's titled Foot Pedal Zing.
I think it is. I think it's Foot Pedal and Zing from the Hanna-Barbera sound effects library. And I know Froggy, he beelines the minute we go to break. It's like when I hit that traffic report, all right, here's Pat with traffic. And Froggy is just, he's already halfway down the hall, and he makes his way to his vehicle, and there we go. Yeah, a little money on that. Can we EQ that a little bit? Give me some mids and highs on that, will you, please? All right, so that's the Foot Pedal and Zing. Give me another run on that. One more time on it. Yeah, that's like Fred Flintstone's feet going before they take off and leave that cloud of dust. So Froggy rolls to his car, and he's medicating. He's getting high during the commercial breaks. So we know what Froggy does, and he's not here today. He's back tomorrow after.
He's not here to kill you for saying that.
Well, hang on. Listen, he's self-medicated. He talks about it. He talks about it. I'm not saying anything out of school.
Can't kill somebody over facts.
But Roxanne, I know that you took the back exit door because as soon as you went out and Fester said it to me, I heard the door slam. I heard why do you go to your car? And Fester said like every morning you go to your car and sit in your car.
Nope.
Whoa.
You think you know what I do? You don't know what I do.
So why did you exit the building? Why did you exit the building through the back door?
Guys, I have a very specific schedule. And every day after our first talk break, when
am I going to get a straight answer here?
Yes, you are.
Okay, go ahead.
I go work out for 11 minutes. Feel how sweaty I am. Look, touch my arm.
I don't want to touch your sweaty arm. Fester just did. Fester didn't blink twice.
For purposes of research, I would, and she is surprisingly clammy.
Yeah.
You're clammy.
Yeah. Yep. I just ran up and down the steps like for 10 minutes. That's what I do. I don't go to my car. I mean, if I leave something in my car, then I incorporate that into my workout.
Is that why we see you apply deodorant to yourself during the show?
You got it.
Because you're all clammy and sweaty?
You got it.
So this morning, Roxanne has been doing a lot of lunges out of your line of sight, but she's doing like that.
Yeah, because I didn't know how long the commercial break was going to be, and I have to get to my 11 minutes.
The only lunge that Fester does is to the all-you-can-eat buffet.
Dude, would they put the new stuff in the back?
You lunge. That's your lunge. Whoa! Let me lunge toward that new fried chicken platter they brought out at Fred's Marketplace.
Sometimes I have to stick my head underneath the sneeze guard just to get back there.
That's a maneuver. That's like Pilates, basically.
Just like that. It's like yoga, except with food at the end.
Yeah. Hey, I speaking of Fred's Marketplace, I wanted to go on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I was going out to Lakeland to get our running in service done on our new X5. Because the model we got, there's a 1,200 mile running in service on the M cars, and so I went out and I'm like, hey Michelle, come on out with me, because I typically during the weekday, or I don't know about week, but if you need like at Fields BMW or Fields Motor Cars from Mercedes-Benz, if you need service, they send a valet to your home or office to get your vehicle. They drop off a loaner, but it was fine. My 1,200 miles was hitting this weekend on the new X5, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make the first appointment for Saturday morning. I'm going to drive on out to Lakeland, see the crew and everything, say hi to the folks at Fields BMW, and I said to Michelle, hey, Michelle, why don't you come with me? And then on the way back, we'll stop in Plant City to the original Fred's Marketplace. And Michelle loves that because, Michelle was a Hillsborough County Assistant State Attorney, and she spent a little time out in the Plant City office. And they used to go to, Fred's or even like Maryland Fried Chicken with the pulleys and the thick, they have names for the, they split the breast. You know how like Church's Chicken used to do back in the day? You didn't get the whole breast. You
get a split breast.
You get the split breast. And then Maryland Fried Chicken, they call it like the pulley and there are two different names for the two different parts of the breast.
I've been to Maryland Fried Chickens a dozen times. I'm a straight thigh guy.
Well, listen, I like all parts of the chicken, but and I like Maryland Fried Chicken, but I would prefer just give me the whole damn breast. That's.
I mean, you're charging me for a whole piece.
You're a breast man.
Yeah,
I'm taking the wing as well. I mean, give me the breast.
Yeah, just give me the whole breast. But Maryland does a nice job. But anyway, so Fred's. I said to Michelle, "Why don't you come out with me?" And she's like, "No, I'm sleeping and I'm not getting up that early." So
good for her.
Oh man. Anyway, where was I?
Questions.
Oh, yeah, I'm questioning you. So you're working out?
Yeah, I do that I do that at 6:10ish every day. And usually
you're just running up and down the back staircase.
No, usually I do the front staircase because that one is empty. The front staircase by the elevator.
Okay.
Usually I do that one. But today I did the back staircase because it's awkward when people see you. Like when people see you doing it, it's like, oh, hi, you doing your steps? Yep, doing my steps.
When people see you doing it.
I just want to.
Yeah. Okay.
Just want to be in the low traffic stairwell.
Gotcha.
And today no one was back there.
All right. A couple of. Well, I don't think there's many people in the back stairwell at 6:10 in the morning.
Literally just you and Froggy.
Really? Do you ever run into Froggy? All hemped up good or whatever he's doing?
Well, that's the thing. It's counterproductive.
No, I'm sorry. It's not him. No, it's not. No, because there's plenty of TLC or TLC. There's plenty of THC.
Sorry, left eye.
Yeah, there's plenty of THC. The active ingredient or whatever the hell Froggy's doing. All right. So now, a piece of housekeeping here. Michelle and I decided on kind of a last-minute trip. We had talked about it, but what is the schedule? So I know Froggy is out today, and he was out on Friday because Froggy had to go to some, shelving convention. He went to Indianapolis for something to do with his real job, the shelving business that he's in. So he's back tomorrow. Now, Fester, you're leaving, and then Roxanne, you're leaving. Can I please get a rundown? Now, Fester, when are you going?
Today is what? Today
is 9/11. I don't know how you can forget. Today's Monday, 9/11.
I'm looking at my calendar.
So, Fester, when are you leaving?
I'm leaving Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
This week?
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
What's wrong?
Wait. Oh, wait. What? Really?
How does my 3 days?
So you're gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Right. I come to tomorrow's show, and then after tomorrow's show, I go to the airport and I fly out.
And Roxanne, when are you leaving?
I am leaving potentially Thursday of next week.
Okay, that's not a problem.
No, maybe Thursday and Friday, but maybe just Friday.
But that's next week, not this week.
Next week, not this week.
21st, 22nd.
The reason why this affects me is because I got to catch a flight on Friday morning. Michelle... So I was going to have you take me to I got to leave the show early on Friday. So if you're not going to be here, I can't leave the show and Roxanne and Frog. Well, maybe I could, but...
Well, there's a little something called Uber that you could take to the airport.
Well, that's what I'm going to have to do. But I like, Fester, it just, it's easy. Fester, takes me to the airport. So we're going to go to Norfolk, Virginia Beach. So, Michelle and I, we met in Virginia Beach. I grew up a lot of my years in Virginia Beach. Michelle was born in Virginia Beach, and she grew up there until they started darting around the globe as a Marine brat. Albany, Georgia, Hawaii, Yokosuka, Japan for 5 years. So we're going to Virginia Beach. It's Michelle's birthday weekend. Michelle has a birthday on Saturday, and her beloved grandparents are buried right off Great Neck Road in Virginia Beach. So we're going to visit the grave site and just, have a little birthday weekend for Michelle. So we're going to fly out on Friday, but I think my flight leaves at 10:50, boarding's at 10:21. We're going to fly Breeze.
Yeah.
So
I heard about Breeze.
This will be the first time I ever flew Breeze. And I thought we were going to be on an Airbus A220, which is the former Bombardier product that Airbus took over. So I thought I was going to be on my first Airbus 220, but I looked it up and no, we're going to be on the Embraer 195. So I'm a little disappointed there. So, but I'm going to be on Breeze for the first time. But Fester, I was going to have you take me to the airport on Friday, but now I guess I'm going to have to Uber to the airport. And so I'm going to have to leave the show probably...
How are you going to get to work?
Well, I'm going to have to Uber to work as well. So I was going to see that puts a whole kibosh. I was going to have you pick me up
I understand.
at the house and then take me to the. So now I'm going to have to Uber both ways.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just put a big giant smash bucket on my plans for this Friday.
Tough life.
All right. Yeah.
And then when do you return?
Around November 1st.
Before Thanksgiving.
We're going to return on Sunday. Sunday is when we're coming back.
It's
It's just a weekend jaunt. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if it was a jaunt or a journey or a 3-day staycation.
No, it's going to be Friday afternoon, all day Saturday. We're leaving early on Sunday.
Okay.
Just going to go grab some Taste Unlimited sandwiches,
Great.
It's a famous place in the Virginia Beach, Norfolk area. All right, so 6:32 is the time at the MJ Morning Show. Fester, you wrecked my plans.
I'm sorry.
Got to make alternate arrangements here. I've got early morons in the news next. Folks, man, we got a good pile of morons. And those are next here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Stand by. The soothing sounds of Boccherini, interrupted now by a total smashing and crashing sound effect. Why? Because it's morons in the news and we got a guy arrested for crashing his car into a Lakeland home and then fleeing the scene.
Come on, man. Some of these corners, you see these cars whipping around like, if that just lost control, it smashed right into that house.
Yeah. Dude out in Lakeland was arrested over the weekend. Punctured a hole. Like a cartoon hole. Punctured a hole in the side of a Lakeland home with his car. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the details from the Polk County Sheriff's Office arrest report. Yep, a fine Polk County deputy sheriff responded to North Crystal Lake Drive, which makes me wonder whether the driver was on crystal meth while driving
Ooh.
on North Crystal Lake Drive.
Almost everything named in Polk County goes back to meth somehow.
2:12 in the morning. Saturday morning, 2:12. Not much good's happened at 2:12 in the morning.
Nope.
In Polk County, right? So the deputy shows up, learns that a person had been injured because the vehicle smashed into the house. The witness told the responding deputy that whoever crashed into the home fled. Give me the Fred Flintstone feed again, would you please? Yeah.
That's exactly what they did.
This is what it sounded like. Yeah, let me know when you get that sound effect. Just play it. So witnesses said that, person crashed their car into the home and then fled north.
Flooded?
Flooded.
Let me correct myself. And then fled north on Crystal Meth Lake Drive in Lakeland. Oh, my God. So the suspect was tracked down. The suspect was later identified as Jared Seymour, 22 years old. Son, there's no way to start your life, man. No.
Not going to see much more of it if you're in the clinker.
Yeah, you need to see more. Exactly. Jared Seymour. It's pretty funny, Roxanne.
The clinker.
Yeah, 22 years old in Lakeland. Yeah, the dude was read his rights by the Polk County deputy sheriff, and then he admitted smashing his car into the house. Yeah. According to the arrest affidavit, Jared Seymour stated post-Miranda. So after he was Mirandized, the Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. If you can't afford an attorney, the attorney will be appointed for you. Do you understand these rights?
I think it would be so cool to have like an IZE'd to your name, like you've been Roxanneized. And then it's
Mirandized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
you've been Toddized.
Miranda was part of the case. That's
Yes.
why they're the Miranda rights. So Jared Seymour, post-Miranda, I guess, stated that he was involved in the crash. Yeah. And that he should not have fled the scene. Should have known that he might have caused injury inside the house. According to the arrest, let me just read the portion here. So the statement says that Jared Seymour knew or should have known from all the circumstances, including the nature of the crash, of the injury to Alexander Valera inside the home. Jared Seymour willfully failed to immediately stop at the scene of the crash or as close to the crash as possible, failed to remain until he had given identifying information, any police officer investigating the crash. Anyway, so he was arrested, charged with leaving the scene of a crash. So, Jared, you know what? Maybe we introduce you to the other Jared who's serving some federal time up in some prison, probably in Indiana, right?
Yeah, too, you can enjoy a foot long.
Jared from Subway, yeah, maybe enjoy a foot long in prison. So, all right, so there you go. So we start off with a moron in Lakeland. All right, here we go. Here's another one. This is a Florida dude in Michigan. So, well, if it doesn't happen in Florida with a Florida guy, I guess the second best thing is a Florida guy doing crap in Michigan.
Don't underestimate the upper Midwest as being trash.
Well, this is the UP as well. This is the Upper Peninsula, the UP of Michigan. A Florida dude just torched 3 Michigan State police cars at their barracks. Just doused them and lit them up and then started firing at the cars with a rifle. And the guy's from Florida. What the? Charred metal is all that remains of 3 Michigan State police cruisers. Michigan State Police, they still have the old-fashioned, single bubble, the bubble gum machine light.
Yes.
They have the single, old-fashioned, middle-of-the-roof red light. And I think they've gone to LEDs that flash in there instead of the rotating, revolving little, incandescent bulbs in that thing. And then they have that crazy stop thing on the hood. Have you ever seen that?
The Michigan State Police vehicles are really cool vehicles.
Yeah, and they're like a royal blue, or it's but then they have these like lucite,
Like a fin.
like a shark fin on the hood of the car that just says "Stop, State Police." It's just weird.
Well, you can't see it if it's
Yeah,
behind you, but
I
if
know.
it's like blocking a road, it says stop.
Yeah, unless you're going the other way, then it's backward. All right, but it's just kind of crazy. But this dude from Florida just torches 3 of their trooper cars and then starts shooting at them with a rifle. This is nuts. Charred metal is all that remains of 3 Michigan State Police cruisers, all set on fire by this arsonist last Wednesday morning at the Michigan State Police 8th District Public Office. It's startling, said the spokesman, the public information officer for the Michigan State Police. These work sites are supposed to be our safe places where our troopers can go, let their hair down, get some paperwork done. When our building and our cars are attacked in those areas, it's a big wake-up call, I'd say. 3 patrol cars were destroyed. A 4th has moderate fire damage. No troopers were at the post early Wednesday morning when a 39-year-old Florida man doused the cruisers with gasoline, set them on fire, and then shot at them with a rifle. And they didn't, for whatever reason, they haven't identified the name of the perp yet. I don't understand why they haven't, but they're investigating why the hell this dude would do this. What was the guy's motive? So it's nuts, but they haven't identified the name of the Florida guy or where in Florida he's from.
Or motive.
But what the hell would cause this guy to do this? I mean, 3 Michigan State cars just burned to the ground, and it's got to be a Florida guy. What the hell?
That's a crazy, crazy story and a perfect morons in the news. There's another even crazier, more global Michigan State story. We're going to get to that today because that's crazy.
Michigan State story, like Michigan State, like
football coach Mel Tucker.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And the sexual misconduct with sexual misconduct activist.
Yep, I saw that. Crazy, crazy story. So, all right, early morons in the news on the MJ Morning Show, and I barely scratched the surface. Maybe I'll do a couple of bonus ones when we get back in a couple of minutes. So stand by. Roxanne, you've got a quiz for me?
Well, kind of.
No, you sent me an email.
I sent everybody a text message.
It was a text. Oh, you were drinking? Wait a sec. So Roxanne sends a text about a couple of things. But one of the things was you have a quiz for me, and you just made a motion with your hand, and you whispered, I was drinking.
At the time, it seemed like a really great idea, and now my quiz is not as fleshed out as I wanted it to be.
Isn't it amazing how when you drink that maybe your faculties and what you thought was a good idea when you were drunk is now not a good idea when you're sober?
This is harmless.
Hold on. I want to hear what this is all about. And we shall. And I want to know about how much you had to drink.
Just a little bit.
All right. So hold on a minute. That's going to be next in just a few minutes here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Stand by. the exact same through the. I can make that exact same noise with my 1971 Mini Moog, by the way, Fester. Just thought I'd point that out to you.
You did a pretty good job just using your mouth.
Like that. All right, 7:02 at the MJ Morning Show. MJ and a crew here. So Roxanne's drunken stupor over the weekend in just a matter of moments. Hey, I was just checking my Instagram. I am 33 followers away from hitting 14,000. 33 little followers away. Come on, there's got to be 33 people listening right now that don't follow me on Instagram. All right, get me to 4. I'm tired of looking at 13,000, all right? I'm at 13,967. Come on. I'm tired of looking at 13,000. Get me to 14,000 Instagram followers right now. All I need is 33. Watch, it'll hang up at 13,999 and just
drive you crazy.
Certified MJ Radio. I picked up a bunch of followers over the weekend. Just, I didn't even talk about it. All right, so listen, if you don't like my crap, if you follow me and you don't like my stuff, then unfollow me later on. All right, a Certified MJ Radio. So if you're listening and you don't follow me, Certified MJ Radio. Give me a follow right now. Certified MJ Radio. It's like a 14,000 telethon. I need the phones ringing in the background over here. People answering the phone. Mm-hmm. All right, so I need 33 followers right now on Instagram to get me to 14,000. Let's go. Certified MJ Radio. There's got to be 33 people listening. Follow now. Certified MJ Radio. All right, I'll check back in a few minutes.
I would like to get to 9,200.
Roxanne Wilder. Just follow Roxanne Wilder and look at her bikini thirst trap photos.
Yes.
I'm 56 followers away.
She will suddenly, she'll suddenly bypass me over 14,000. She's going to pick up 5,000 followers right now.
There is a lot more on my Instagram page than just bikini thirst traps. That's hard to say.
Thirst traps. It's a tricky word.
Roxanne, tell me about your apparent drunken weekend, because you send this text in the group. There were two things. Is the second thing, is that valid? Or was that also a drunken text?
You mean the first text that I sent?
No.
It was the first text.
Walmart. Is that a valid story?
Oh, yeah.
That's
very valid.
That's creepy then. That's really
Isn't that crazy?
Well, hold on. It's crazy, creepy. It's creepy and it's kooky. It's altogether spooky. All right, hold on a minute.
I've got it with me too.
All right, hang on. We'll get into that in a minute. Like after 7:30, you got to hear what happened to Roxanne at Walmart. All right? And then there's a whole thing with Walmart we got to talk about, which is I can't believe this. That's coming up in just a bit.
The thing we have to talk about with what happened to me.
Exactly.
Two separate things, but coincidence. Yes.
So where were you that you were drinking over the weekend and you had this great idea? You text the group and now you're backing off and you're saying, well, maybe it really is not that great of an idea. I might have almost oversold it because I was liquored up.
I probably did.
Yeah.
But I was at my sister's house for a kid's birthday party.
Are you one of the... You're at a kid's birthday party? You're getting hammered?
A family kid's birthday party.
What? You're getting hammered at a family kid's birthday party?
So this is kind of funny.
Are all the adults getting hammered? How old are the kids? What if there was 7 years? And what if there was an emergency and all the adults are liquored up?
Not all the adults are liquored up. It's so funny because we went to Chuck E. Cheese first.
Oh, God.
So we went to Chuck E. Cheese from 10 to noon.
Was there a good fight at Chuck E. Cheese?
No.
Sometimes you get two competing families at Chuck E. Cheese. The dads get into a fight.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And they grab the whack-a-mole mallet and they crack each other over their head with it. All right, so let's just jump to the chase here. So what were you drinking, first of all?
Just drinking a little wine.
Was Doug there?
Well, that's a funny thing. So
was he drinking White Claws?
Yes, he was drinking White Claws, but he was sober. He was sober. He
had
a
White Claws at Chuck E. Cheese?
No, this was, after Chuck E. Cheese.
This is the after party at my sister's house.
I'm sorry.
So he was going to drive us, all that. Yeah.
You're at the party, and you send us a text because you met somebody at the party. Tell us who you met.
I met an air traffic controller. And I was so excited because I'm like, oh, you need to give me all your information. I'm going to test MJ on Monday and see if he really knows as much as he thinks he knows about planes.
Now,
God.
Is this dude?
Oh my God.
Is he an air traffic controller at Tampa International, at Tampa Tower?
I cannot say. I am not. I do not want to reveal his identity.
Come on, give me a freaking break. Is he?
What do you think? He works here.
So he's an air traffic controller, or he works in the tower. He's a Traycon at Tampa International.
Well, yes.
Okay, fine. All right. So you're drinking.
I was gonna lie and say he was like in Jacksonville or something.
Yeah, whatever. Jacksonville Center. All right, come on. So he's an air traffic controller.
Yes.
And you told him I love airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
I like
did.
airport operations and that kind of crap.
That's basically my first intro to someone. Hi, I'm Roxanne Wilder. I do the MJ Morning Show. He loves planes.
By the way, Bo Zimmer, who used to be at Channel 10, now is in communications at Tampa International Airport. Bo Zimmer keeps asking me, hey, when are you guys coming on the big behind-the-scenes tour?
I'm in.
I've got to do it. All right, we got to do this at some point.
Yes.
All right, so what happened that you sent me this text in the group? Oh, MJ, I got a big quiz for you. I talked to an air traffic controller at this kid's birthday party. And now you're like, yeah, I was drinking. Maybe it's not. So what did you think you had that was so good?
Okay, a couple of things. I just started asking him about when they do the go-arounds. What happens when they do the go-arounds?
Hey, I watched a Delta go-around over the weekend, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
Yep.
I know what else I asked him.
What?
I said, you know how we've been hearing more and more in the media about, near misses. There are more near misses nowadays with flights. I said, is that true or is that media hype? And apparently it's media hype. There's just more information out there. But the other two things, I don't know. Do we have time to get into it now? It might be better than I thought it was.
We've got 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is, what do you think? This is the quiz. It was going to be a really long quiz, but now it's just like 2 questions.
Okay.
MJ, what do you think happens to a plane as it's in the sky and the pilot is flying? What do you think he's doing the entire time? The entire time.
When the plane is at cruising altitude and just flying?
Anywhere in the, once it
Once
anywhere.
it takes off?
What's the pilot doing the entire time?
They're on autopilot, and they're pretty much just on their iPads, surfing the internet or reading, or the occasional communication with air traffic control and watching their waypoints. And
they are in contact with air traffic control their entire flight. They go boop. They go from each one. So, for example,
I just said that.
Yeah. For example,
I just said that.
No, you said they're on their iPads, but they're actually talking to like air traffic control the whole time.
They are, and they get bounced to different air traffic control in different centers as they travel.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, of course.
I didn't realize
as
that.
They hit their different waypoints, and a lot of then they bounce to
Then they're like, they get out of here. Then they go to Jacksonville.
Next.
Then they go to.
It seems like you got that one right. Like if you fly from Tampa to Los Angeles, you don't just talk to the Tampa and then the Los Angeles guy. You talk to every little city you fly over.
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that was interesting.
By the way, I think this was Saturday, Delta 1462 from Atlanta to Tampa, a Boeing 757. I was out walking, and I think this was Saturday. I think was it Saturday afternoon? Delta, I don't have I took a screenshot because I saw, I'm in South Tampa and I'm watching a Delta. What are you giving me the look for?
I'm just listening to the airplane. I'm waiting.
Because I'm
waiting.
I'm out walking, doing my 5-mile weekend walk, and suddenly I see a plane, a Delta plane, suddenly on approach, pull up and suddenly, accelerate. You can hear the engines, and then the plane starts to climb quickly. And it was because there was an airplane that didn't clear the runway fast enough at Tampa International. So I actually saw Delta 1462 from Atlanta do a go-around on approach right over the Howard Franklin Bridge, started to quickly just jam the throttles and do a go-around.
So would that be qualified as a near miss?
No, that wouldn't be a near miss. No.
Because the runway wasn't cleared.
That would not be a near miss. But they had to obviously go around. So, all right. So what else, Roxanne?
So the other thing is, do you know that sometimes people do naughty stuff in the parking garage?
This is the quiz? This is the quiz she's hyped up all weekend?
Hold on. This is the quiz that she thought was great when she was drunk, but now that she's sober, she was trying to lower our expectations on how good this quiz was.
MJ, can you picture this flight traffic controller guy hating his life? He's at a 7-year-old's party and some drunk mom is chatting him up about work? Yes. This poor
100%.
guy.
All right, so hang on a minute. So how does this go to naughty things that people do in the airport parking garage?
Don't do it. Don't do it because they can see you.
They've got
in
cameras
the control
in there.
Center. Yes.
Hold on, wait. So the control tower, they can look into the parking
They can
garages?
look anywhere. Yeah.
So I know they have binoculars to be able to look at the airplanes on the field.
Right.
So they're from the Tampa Tower at
yeah.
Tampa International, they're looking into the parking garages?
I mean, they can see them. I guess there's a clear shot, you know? And sometimes they'll light them up.
And so
light 'em up if they're
what,
doing
what
it.
did he tell you that people were doing in the Tampa International parking garages that they could see from the control tower?
Sometimes people go there and hook up in the cars.
Did he tell you what level? Was it like the rooftop?
I didn't ask that question.
Or
I mean,
That's not part of the quiz.
I
That's
would
just a
imagine-
bonus question.
I'm
That's a
guessing
bonus
it's-
answer.
I'm guessing it's the rooftop. That-
Probably.
Yeah, that they're
Yeah.
able to look inside. And so they're watching people doing it in cars.
I mean, they're not like they're paying attention to their jobs, but you know, it's kind of their job to make sure everything is.
Watch the airplanes, not the guy getting up from a
this is was this the guy's opportunity to kind of hit on you now?
No.
Because he's thinking, you know what? There's a drunk mom here.
Did
Doug
he
was
ask-
there.
Did he have a wife there as well?
Yeah, he had a wife.
Okay,
Yes.
was he hitting on you?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
All
No,
right.
we were having a good.
Did he
I
off-
was learning. You
Did he
know me.
say
I like
that-
to interview people when I meet them.
Did he say, Roxanne, you're cleared to land?
he offered her a flight on Swinger Airlines.
All right.
I just always go there. I'm just
So hold
gathering
on.
information.
Oh, well, that's pretty good stuff. I mean, I don't think that your faculties were
Okay.
were hindered by your clear drunkenness at this party.
Yeah.
I think it's a good story that from the Tampa control tower, they're able to see people doing sexual activity
Yeah.
on the parking garage roof, I guess.
I thought so too. Okay, so do you know what this word means?
What?
Radar approach control.
Radar approach control.
Uh huh.
I don't locking in on the glide path.
Neither do I, but I texted it to myself as a reminder. I have no clue.
I mean, obviously it's the radar that
It was going to be a quiz question, but I don't know what.
or the radar that is spinning off of near Hillsboro, right off the Veterans. You see that radar thing that's twirling around.
Yeah.
All right, 7:14. Roxanne, it's not terrible stuff.
Okay, good.
All right, but I'll tell you, your Walmart story is crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
This is nuts, and it's coming up. Also, someone is kind of calling me out on something. We'll get to that coming up in just a bit. I got 2 emails I have to address in just a couple of minutes. That 70s show update, you know who's getting a bunch of crap on the whole Danny Masterson thing? Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis.
I saw
getting
that.
Yeah, so and Fester, I got a Croc story for you. There's tons of crap next, folks, and I haven't even scratched the surface. It's all next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Do not move. We start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next, so stand by. Running a couple of moments late. All right. It is the MJ Morning Show on Q105. I just checked my text messages, and Michelle just texted me. My alarm goes off at 7:23 for you to talk, but you're still playing a song. Well,
She's right.
But it varies. It's, we start the hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. It depends if we go a little long in the 7 o'clock segment. So we generally go like 7 o'clock to about 7:13. We went to 7:15 today because Roxanne dragged the whole damn thing out.
I always do that.
Okay, so I'm a couple of minutes late, so it's now 7:25, and we start an hour and 20 minutes plus of nonstop MJ right now. So, Michelle, I do apologize. Oh, you know what? I got to deal with something with Michelle. Probably not today, but maybe tomorrow. Now, I had a couple of folks poking around and asking a question or two, and I want to address something. In fact, I might actually just shoot a video at home tonight and then put it up on Instagram. So stand by for that. Oh, speaking of Instagram, I did hit over 14,000. So I asked for, what I asked for, 33?
Something like that.
I asked for like 33 followers because that was going to take me from 13,967 to 14,000, and I put over 50. So with my little ask a few minutes ago, hey, if you don't follow me on Instagram, give me a follow. Certified MJ Radio,
yes.
And I went over 14,000. So
MJ speaking for the
yes.
entire crew,
yes.
myself, Roxanne, Andrew, Froggy,
yes.
who's not here today.
Yep.
We could not be more proud of you.
Thank you.
For 14,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Way to go, friend.
Thank you.
Good job,
Can you go to Brown's Trophies and get me a plaque or something?
Yeah.
That'd be very,
I will.
very, very nice.
14,000.
All right, so Roxanne, this is nuts. We have a lot to do. So this next hour and 20 minutes plus, folks, because I always go over. I always do more than an hour and 20 minutes. Sometimes 5 minutes more or whatever. So we have a lot to cover here. Let me start with the Roxanne Walmart stuff because this is insane. Now, I believe that this Walmart, excuse me, I believe that, what?
Just wait.
I just had a little cough.
No, you're just not a big cougher.
I'm not a big cougher on the microphone. That's true.
I was surprised.
Doesn't happen very often. But I was breathing in air and I just coughed. So, Roxanne, you brought up the fact that this Walmart issue had not occurred in your life yet, right?
Yes, I did.
How long ago was that?
I don't know, maybe a year ago.
Within the last year.
Within the year.
Roxanne made a revelation.
I've known about it for, I feel like a couple of years.
So, folks, Roxanne made a revelation on this program, we think, within the last year.
Was it private? I don't think we talked about it on the air.
No, we did.
We did. No, we did. We absolutely did. Roxanne, in her entire life, had never been in a Walmart.
Now, listen, I know that's going to come across as a snooty patootie thing.
It does.
It's not that, though. It's simply that I was
It comes across like you're a snob beyond belief.
No, it just has never been in my path. First of all, I come from a drugstore family.
Wait a minute.
So my family was in the drugstore business.
Your dad worked for Eckerd?
Eckerd Drugs.
Right, so your dad worked for Eckerd for, what, a long time?
Yes, most of his career. Accounting and then Eckerd Drugs.
Right.
Yeah, and then
so
VisionWorks.
Roxanne revealed about a year ago or sometime in the last, she had never been in a Walmart. I mean, I remember we were floored and shocked, but within the last year, the first time you go to a Walmart was this past weekend. Folks, This is breaking freaking news. I mean, this is, I'm expecting potentially that later tonight, David Muir on ABC World News Tonight. I'm suspecting that later on tonight on ABC, you know what? I'm thinking here. They're going to start tonight like this. They're going to start at 6:30 on Channel 28. Breaking news here on World News Tonight. Roxanne Wilder from the MJ Morning Show has just visited her first Walmart ever. That's the only story we're going to cover tonight on World News.
Pretty earth-shattering, right?
All right, come on.
Here's the thing. I've just always been a drugstore and a grocery store shopping.
Can you believe
this?
this?
Then I branched out into Target.
Roxanne never went to a Walmart. Her first Walmart was this weekend. Now, so what actually brought you in? I mean, I can't even wrap my face around this, that you at your age had never been in a Walmart.
Well,
I'm in
pretty
Walmart
young.
probably twice a month. I'm in Walmart.
Compared to planets.
There are people that are in Walmart once a week,
Once
twice
a day.
week, three.
Yeah.
Well,
I bet you can take calls from people who go to Walmart 4 times a week, 5 times a week.
because there are some people that use Walmart as their supermarket, because a lot of the Walmarts have a full supermarket. And
the full department store.
and a full other stuff, the other stuff that Walmart has. So Roxanne, folks, this is breaking freaking news. Roxanne visited her first Walmart ever over the weekend. Which Walmart was it?
It was the Walmart on Dale Mabry, right by Chuck E. Cheese, or, just 3 minutes north of Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, so this was...
So the one in Carrollwood?
That would be Ehrlich and Dale Mabry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you visited Walmart after the birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese?
Right.
But before you went back to the after party at the house where you got liquored up?
Exactly.
All right, so what called you into Walmart? Oh, and
Because-
folks, it gets weirder. This story is about to get out of freaking control. You're not going to believe this. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I went to Walmart because I had to buy my niece some birthday gifts. I hadn't done it yet.
Oh,
So I was like, Ange, I'll bring him up to the house. I haven't gotten shopping yet. So I went in
last
between.
minute, a
minute.
lot of thought on these birthday gifts. Last minute.
I got a great
Rush
gifts.
into Walmart.
Thanks to Walmart.
Okay.
Okay. So I just, again, want to reiterate, I go to Target. I feel like it's like a Coke Pepsi thing. You just get used to one and you just don't deviate from it because it's in your path.
All right, Target is a little more higher end than Walmart. So if you look at
Okay.
the tiers, Walmart then Target's a little higher end. I shop
see
at
that.
both. I've got no problem going to both.
Right. So I went for the first time and I loved it. And you know why I loved it? Because it's the same stuff, but it's less expensive. That's what I saw.
No,
Why do you sigh like
no,
that?
I'm trying to think.
I was like, this place is great. What's not to like about it?
I have no dislike of Walmart. I like Walmart. Hey, listen, sometimes some of the clientele, there's a whole website.
That's the joke. Yeah.
There's a whole website devoted to the people of Walmart, and there's really all walks of life in Walmart. You see you see highbrow, midbrow, lowbrow. I mean, you see just a little bit of everything.
What's below lowbrow?
No brow.
Walmart has it all.
They do. So Walmart absolutely 100% has it all. So Roxanne, breaking freaking news, folks. We got a Fox News alert. Roxanne visited her first Walmart ever. Now, this is where things get weird, and you put this in your text.
I did. I knew you would appreciate this, so I'm happy you do.
This is crazy. Go ahead.
So, I like numbers. So the first thing the cashier says to me is, she says, this item that you got, this is actually on even bigger sale than what I thought it was.
All right.
Okay, great. What is it? Oh, it's just blank. And it was my favorite number. I'm not going to say it because it's my PIN number for everything. All right. But let's pretend it was 26.
Okay. My PIN number is 5. Yes. When I go to the ATM, I put my card in. My PIN number is 5.
That's legitimately your PIN
No,
number. You're
come on,
right.
26. You got to have at least 4 digits.
Okay. Well, my favorite number is, let's just say it's 26. All right. It's a 2-digit number. So she's like, oh, it's an even. I was like, oh, an even. And in my head, I'm like,
Get to the weird stuff.
I'm getting to it, but I'm setting it up. So I was primed for it. So I'm like, oh, that's my favorite number. Okay. One of them. And then I get my bill, my Walmart bill. I look
you got to hand me the thing.
Okay, yes, but I don't want you to don't want you to show this to the camera because it's might be another
So we're gonna
Hold on, might be another what?
like a pin.
Oh, all right.
You know what I mean?
Hold on a minute.
I have no idea what you mean.
Well, I have to read the number. That's the story.
So the
Just then change one digit of it.
I
Just
can't.
change one digit.
I can't.
Change one. Are you don't have a? Yes, you can change. You can change on the fly.
But we need to tell the story
Okay,
accurately.
I'll tell the story. Here's what it is. I get the receipt.
Roxanne, her first visit to Walmart ever, she checks out, and her total amount is
My father's exact birthday.
oh
Exact.
my God. I mean, that it's her father's exact birthday.
That's
so
crazy.
The number
It's 118, and then don't say the year. But it was the exact thing.
So the number is like 11 for the month of November, then the date of his birthday, and then the year. So the whole thing was
exactly his birthday.
Wow.
So you take like 11, and then the year. Like I'm 124.66.
Exactly.
So it would be like if the bill was $124.66, 124. What the hell? Your first visit to Walmart ever, and then it's your father's freaking birthday on the receipt?
Yes.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Woo. So I have to save that receipt. So give it back to me.
You have to save it for what?
Oh, I
I thought he was communicating with me.
I ripped it up. No, I'm kidding. I didn't rip
You're
it
going to
up.
need that receipt for the return. You
Yeah,
should give that
'cause
receipt
the-
to Angela
yeah,
so she can return
Yeah,
the
'cause
crap you
the
got her
kid probably hated the crap you bought her at the last minute for her birthday. Man, that is strange.
Isn't that crazy? It's so nuts.
That is weird. Your father's exact birthday was the amount at checkout.
Yes. So, but
I don't believe in this kind of crap, but that's weird.
No, and I told Ange and my stepmom, I'm like, that's Dad like communicating with us because the whole family was together. It was Ella's birthday.
You put that in your text message to us
or
that you thought that your dad was reaching out to you at the Walmart checkout stand.
Yeah, he was.
Also, because Roxanne's dad is deceased. Rest in peace.
Yes.
But you thought your dad was communicating to you at Walmart.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Was he like recognizing this was he knew it was your first visit to Walmart?
Maybe he was like, you might not. You should probably shop here a little bit more often. Save some money.
Roxanne got her kid, her niece, a hooded towel, a foot spa, mood lights, and a Barbie boat.
That's what they say when
That's
someone's
a pretty good gift.
Hey, when somebody's got a lot of nerve and someone's got a lot of gall, they say you got foot spa.
Close.
Isn't that foot spa?
I think so. Oh, the foot spa on that one.
Foot spa.
Okay, it's chutzpah. Okay, all right. So just thought it'd make a really lame, crappy, lousy joke.
When is the next Roxanne Wilder trip to Walmart?
Yeah.
I mean, next time I have to go shopping.
What message is your dad going to send to you then on your second visit?
Actually, the next birthday that I have to shop for is right over here. Andrew. Right? Got a birthday coming up.
When's Andrew? Andrew, when's your birthday?
It's in October. I don't know if it's the next one for her.
Right.
Well,
so
it is.
hold on. Your birthday is what? Give me your exact. So 10?
10/17.
10/17. What year?
70.
10/17/70. So that means that
if you
would
bought
have to sell
for $1,000.
yeah, 1,100. I'm sorry, $1,017.70 is what you'd have to spend on Andrew.
What do you want at Walmart, Andrew? I'm going to get you a really nice stash of stuff.
For $1,000.
There you go.
How many? I bet you can count on one hand the amount of listeners we have who are above the age of 40,
right?
Who've never been to a Walmart.
Oh, I can't believe there's anyone listening right now that's never been to a Walmart.
Well, the texters are saying, what? Your parents never took you to Walmart? I did go to like a Kmart back in the day.
How about Zare?
Zare? I've probably been to a Zare.
Zare was
Yeah,
good.
I'm sure they had Zare here, right?
Yeah, they had it here.
How about
so
Ames? Did they have any Ames stores here, or
They did, but
Service merchandise.
service merchandise?
that was
Yeah.
the bougie place. Service merchandise is where the
All
hoity-toities.
right. I can't believe this exists, but it does. Clearly, I'm making a segue, folks. Do you know that they make a human-sized dog bed, and people are buying these to sleep in? Do you know, you go to the PetSmart, Petco, Kirkland brand, Costco has those dog beds. Do you know that they make one for humans?
I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised by it.
You got to look this up. The Pluffle. Look up PLUFL. And it is a human-sized dog bed. Now, there are different kinds of dog beds. You've got the dog bed. Yes.
That MJ, that legitimately looks super comfortable.
You're not going to believe this. So the two different dog beds that I know of, and we have two of the Kirkland, we have two of the Costco dog beds for our dogs, and they're just the circular ones that they can just sleep on top. The second type of dog bed is the one that's like a giant soap dish.
Like rimmed.
Yeah, it's got the rim. It's got the inside. It's like a shell, and it's got the high sides and then the low inside. That's the second type of dog bed. And there is a company called Pluffle, and Pluffle is a dog bed. It's the kind that has the high sides all the way around, and they make one. This Pluffle company makes one for people. It's the size of a human. And I saw this story. Yes, you absolutely need a human dog bed.
Listen, I think I'm a little too large for it, but I can tell you my kids would rather sleep in this than their real beds.
Picture this. You're in a warm, cozy log cabin. A fire's roaring in the fireplace. And in the warm glow of the hearth, your beloved dog curls up for a comfortable nap. Now, picture this. It's the exact same setting. But you're the dog, and you get to curl up in front of the fireplace because you have a human-sized dog bed called the Pluffle.
Wow.
Folks, look this up. Hey, Andrew, put this on items as heard on the MJ Morning Show. So we'll grab like a link to the Pluffle bed. You got to see this thing. And it's depicted as a woman just sleeping on the floor in her dog bed. Not in a regular bed. She's in the dog bed.
The original human dog bed for adults, kids, and pets.
You're on Amazon right now.
Yeah, and it's $400, $399.99.
Pluffle, go back to the stop. Pluffle, the original human dog bed for adults, kids, and pets, as seen on Shark. Oh, this was on Shark Tank? Comfy plush large bean bag with memory foam, machine washable, and durable, perfect nap and floor bed. This one's an Arctic gray, but I guess you can select different colors. And it's $399 on Amazon. That seems a little high. Can't you get like one of those mattresses in a box for like $399? And some of those foam rubber mattresses that come rolled up like a Casper or something.
This is definitely a novelty piece.
It looks like it gives you good support. Like I'm looking at some of these photos, and it looks like it's aligning your spine pretty well. And then they have something called a Huggle. They're introducing the Huggle.
What is the Huggle?
It's kind of looks similar, but you can wrap both your legs around it.
Like a body pillow?
And you can hug it like kind of like a body pillow, but it's still shaped like a donut.
Wow.
Like the Puffle.
All right. Do you think if I ask for any listeners, does anyone have the human dog bed that you sleep on? Ooh. Is anyone listening right now that you have the Pluffle? You have the human dog bed. If you do, I don't expect to get many calls on this, if any. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. What was that, Andrew? Turn your mic on. What?
Pee Wee Herman tweeted about this a year ago.
Did Pee Wee Herman have a dog bed that he was sleeping in?
I don't know if that's his own, but...
Here, I found the tweet. It says, when I die, I want to be buried in a Pluffle.
No, he
Then a
didn't.
year later.
Anyway, rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman.
Wow, Pee-wee.
Recently departed.
So sad.
Yeah, next time Roxanne's at Walmart, she's going to get a checkout amount that's Pee Wee Herman's birthday. Anyway, so...
Oh, my God.
But you got to get the dog... Does anyone... Oh, the phones are ringing.
So here's why I think a lot of people have
Does
it in
anyone have the Pluffle human... Wait a sec. Fester, hold on to that thought. I didn't think we'd get calls on this.
Here's why we are going to get calls on it.
Cherie's in Trinity. Hi, Cherie. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hi there. How are you this morning?
Do you have the human dog bed?
I do, but there's other things it's used for that's not advertised for. I've got two little dogs that hate thunderstorms. They hate them. So we curl up in it, and they don't shake. It's almost like a thunder jacket for them.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the thunder jackets, yeah.
Yeah, it's really high on the sides. And believe it or not, there's the cushion in it. I don't sleep. I mean, I do have a bed that I sleep in, so I don't sleep in it that way. But it's great, like when it's raining or something like that. And I got it mostly because of my dogs. And it works.
And you paid $399 for it? How much did you pay for it?
I paid $300 for it.
$300. So I guess...
Like I said... It's a memory foam. It's a good nap.
Where did you get yours? Because Amazon has it for $3.99. But where did you get it?
I got off Amazon.
Oh,
I've had mine now for months. I've had probably about a good 6 months.
Oh, so Amazon's jacked up the price. But also, you got to keep in mind that people go to Amazon for convenience, but Amazon does not always have the best price. A lot of times, you can find things out there that are cheaper than Amazon.
Absolutely, you can. But yeah, I got it. Like I said, I got 2 little dogs. They're scared to death of thunderstorms. And the 4th of July was awesome this year, actually,
Wow. All right. Well,
because they were able to snuggle up in it. So, like I said, I don't sleep in it. We'll curl up in it.
I asked for people to call up that have the Pluffle human dog bed, and here's Cherie from Trinity. Look at this.
It was actually a gift. So
Oh,
it was actually a gift. I thought it was a joke at first when I first got it. But
wow.
no, it
Well,
worked.
I'll tell you what. Every morning you can curl up in your human dog bed and listen to the MJ Morning Show.
I listen to you guys at work on my way to work. I wish I could do that.
Do you listen to us when you get to work?
I listen to us, at work, and I listen to you guys on my way to work. I only live 0.3 miles from work.
Oh,
I'm,
wow.
like, right there.
Yep.
But I listen to you guys at work. I've been listening to you guys since 93.3. I mean, years.
Wow. That's a long time. Thank you, Cherie.
Yeah. You're welcome. You guys have a great day.
You too.
You too.
No, she brings up a very good point is, folks, when you get to work, keep listening to the MJ Morning Show. And if you're at a place where you can't have a radio, just have the radio on at work. Just turn us on at work. Expose other coworkers to the MJ Morning Show. This brings up another good point about MJ3 a day. And, I had a couple of emails I wanted to address, and, somebody was addressing an issue I brought up. So, you know what? This is a perfect segue. And, hold on. I had one other pet thing I'll get to in just a bit. It also, folks, it's 9/11. I have a 9/11 story that did not get any attention that is now coming to light, which I thought was unbelievable. On this 22nd anniversary of 9/11, never forget, folks. Never, ever forget. I'll never forget. We were on the air when it happened. I'll never forget. We stayed on the air for over 12 hours that day. I think we were on the air for 14 hours that day straight. So we'll recognize 9/11, and I've got an amazing story that is just being told, apparently. So we'll get to that coming up on the MJ Morning Show. So I just mentioned MJ3 a day, and this is where I ask of you, the MJ Morning Show audience, and I don't ask much. I just ask that you listen as much as you possibly can. But MJ3 a day is please tell 3 people that you're listening to the MJ Morning Show. And listen, tell them some of the things you heard, why they should listen. Believe it or not, folks, there are people that don't listen to us or don't even know we're on. You've got the Tampa Bay population has brought a lot of new people to the area. I think there are plenty of people that just don't know about this show and the fact that pound for pound, we do the best, most entertaining morning show in the entire state. And I think, we're in the top tier of morning shows in the entire country, the MJ Morning Show. So I just ask that you tell 3 people a day, if you can, to check out the MJ Morning Show here on Q105, 104.7 FM. Also, the show is podcast by 11 a.m. The entire show is put together on podcast. All the major platforms, you just search for MJ Morning Show on Q105. And you'll find us on all the major podcast platforms. MJ TV, we're on TV right now. We broadcast. We have cameras in the studio. You can watch the whole show if you go to mjmorningshow.com and click on MJ TV. So with my MJ3 a day, and this brings me to the email, and I want to address this. I get an email from Mike, and it says MJ. This was September 7th that I got this. This was what, September 7th was Thursday?
That was Thursday, yeah.
Is that Thursday? Mm-hmm. So I get this email from Mike. MJ, longtime listener. Anyway, I live in North Carolina now, but have friends here and in Minnesota and Rochester, New York. I've been doing what you're asking, 3 a day, to ask 3 people a day, hey, listen to the MJ Morning Show. This happens to be, he's in North Carolina and his friends are out of state. So he's telling them, listen to the stream live. You can listen to us live. If you go to mjmorningshow.com and you look at the upper right-hand corner, there's a red button that says listen live. You can listen to us live on your computer, your smartphone. You can listen on any of the major apps like TuneIn, the iHeart app, the Q105 app.
Right.
What an Odyssey app.
There's plenty of ways to listen.
And you can listen live instead of a conventional radio at home or in the car. You can listen to us on your smartphone live every single morning, live. So there's so many ways to listen to the show. So he writes, you've asked me to tell 3 people a day. I got a friend of mine named Doug to start watching the stream, and I received an email from him today, and here's what he wrote. What the hell, dude? You tell me to listen to MJ, and I start last week, and I'm hearing a lot of tell 3 people a day to listen, and then he says that he might be out in December. WTF? Oh, well, I'll listen to the show until he signs off, but seriously, he shouldn't do that. They're a blast. I've never laughed so hard in my life, but damn, is he staying or going? You said you've listened to him for 183 years. Anyway, so the email goes on. The guy loves the show, blah, blah, blah. He says that he's telling 3 people a day. All right, what he's referring to, I didn't say I'm out in December. I said that my contract is up in December. I signed a 1-year extension last fall, and my contract here is up in December. And, I'm sure at some point, maybe not, they'll approach me to negotiate in good faith a new contract, but haven't heard from management yet about negotiating, whether I'm going to. So I'm just telling you that I'm being honest with the audience that my contract is up in December, but part of me telling people to tell 3 people a day to listen to the MJ Morning Show is to build our listener base as big as possible, because that's going to help me with contract negotiations.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hello.
That's what it all comes back to, people.
Hello.
I mean, we want you to listen, but
yes,
tell more people. It's almost negotiation time.
Exactly. I want to build the listener base as big as possible, because contract negotiations are most likely coming up, unless they're going to kick us to the curb. Who the hell knows? But that's the real story. I'm telling you the truth. All right, speaking of radio stuff, and I've had a dozen people at least send me the link to this and say, MJ, is this true? So a little inside radio stuff here when it comes to contests. And when radio stations do contests. And the minute I saw these emails, I had people approach me on email, mj@mjmorningshow.com. I've had people hit me up on my Instagram direct messages. So there's a video that's circulating. And I want to play some of the audio from this video that's circulating. The guy claims that he's a former radio host and then talks about caller 100. So in our case, a lot of times we'll do contesting and I'll say caller 105 because the radio station is Q105. We're at 104.7 FM, but, we call it Q105.
And it gives everybody a chance to call in. It gives a little bit of time.
All right. Well, I'm getting this link to a video that's kind of viral online right now, and this is what the video says.
So I'm a former radio host, and you ever listen to the radio and let's say they're giving out free Taylor Swift tickets and you're locked in because you want to win the tickets, but you got to be caller number 100? Fun fact, they actually never give it to the actual caller number 100.
That is false. So this guy's saying when they say, hey, caller 100 right now, or in our case, caller 105 right now, he's saying that they never give it to the actual caller. Here, listen.
Because the radio host or the producer really doesn't feel like counting that high, they legitimately just skip numbers. The phone lines blink up, and then they run through them. Caller number 1, caller number 5, caller number 10, caller number 15, caller number 25, caller number 30, until they reach number 100. So when the radio host tells you, congratulations, you're caller number 100, you're probably, in reality, caller number 12. Congrats.
That is absolute garbage, at least as far as, listen, other stations might do that, but as far as our show goes, that is absolute crap. That is 100% false. Let me bring Andrew on, our producer, because every time I ask for caller 105,
he's the poor bastard.
He gives me the middle finger. Hey, Andrew, what camera can we see you in the background on? Fester's camera?
Yeah, let me position my camera a little bit.
Let me show you. So, Andrew, I think, bring up the camera, bring up Fester's camera. I think we can see through the glass, right?
It's up.
All right. So, why don't you demonstrate for MJ TV viewers right now, when I say caller 105, what do you do?
Okay.
He's cranking up the middle finger.
All right, so you flip MJ off. All right,
He's not happy about it.
People are calling in right now.
Right,
You can hear the phone.
Or I throw something.
Or he throws something, or he stares me down. Andrew, do you skip callers, or when I say 105, are you caller 1, caller 2, caller 3, caller 5, all the way up in order to 105? Usually you stop at 104 because I'll take 105 live on the air.
That's how we play it. We stop before the winning caller, so MJ can pick whichever line he wants, and it's a surprise.
I pick up the live call, caller 105. So, Andrew, would you like to call? This guy's a liar. This is not true. At this radio station, we actually count out every single caller. Whatever we designate as the caller to win, we 100% pick that exact caller. I will take a polygraph. You can, hang a sword over my head if I lie and cut the rope. I'm telling you right now, when we say a certain number caller, that's who wins.
I will say that on this station, that is correct.
100% on this morning show, on this radio station, we pick the exact caller that we claim. So that guy, as far as we go, that's not the truth. Maybe he works at some bogus, shady radio stations where they're, messing around, or they're getting their friends to win prizes. I don't know. But I'll tell you right here, we do exactly what we say we're going to do. And I guarantee that. Swear 100%.
Andrew wouldn't be nearly as pissed off if he just took caller number 12.
Yeah, here's another email. Hey, you were so on point about the Bucks.
Okay.
It's one game.
Yeah. So guess what caught my attention? The subject line is Bucks genius.
Yeah.
So the subject line is Bucks genius. This came from Chris Wood. Hey, Chris, why are you shooting the messenger here? We spoke last week about how the Bucks were predicted to have a lousy season. I think it was DraftKings.
Originally, back in May, they said this.
DraftKings said the Bucks were likely only going to win one game this season. Hey, yesterday's game might have been it, right? Then Sports Illustrated came out in the last week or so, and this is what I referred to again last week. I said Sports Illustrated claims that the Bucks are favored to only win 2 games, so 2 out of 17. So, Chris, you're personally calling me out like I'm the prognosticator here? Dude, I'm just passing along what some of the predictions are. Don't shoot the messenger, dude. So he's giving me the, hey, you were so on point about the Bucks. And gave me the PSSHH, like, what's that guy's name?
Shorty Shane?
Well, Shorty Shane imitates
Bassmaster.
Ed Bassmaster,
yeah.
who goes, you saw that's what Chris Wood is giving. Hey, Chris, thanks for listening. And thanks for giving me a hard time. Someone's got to do it. No, but listen, it wasn't my prediction. But congratulations to the Bucks. Bucks won 20-17 on the road. That was a game they were supposed to lose. The Vikings were favored. It was Baker Mayfield Ice Cream's first game.
Start as a Buck.
Exactly.
Yes.
Nice way to start the season.
Absolutely. And then you had Martin Gramatica with effectively the game-winning, field goal.
Who's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I always root for Martin every time he runs out there.
Hey, it's Throwback Monday.
That's so weird you just said that. I just like 2 of his IG
The
photos.
quarterback was Trent Dilfer yesterday.
Well, then we wouldn't have won. Okay, let's just call that right now. Old Dilfer would not have won a game for this team.
And Martin Gramatica is not the current kicker of the Bucks. But hey, I haven't talked to Martin in a long time, but Martin was a good friend of the show for a while.
Yeah, and he does NFL commentating now.
Yeah, I think you're right. So who's the kicker? Hit a 52 yard?
It was a big
57.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go Bucks.
A 57-yard field goal. What's the kicker's name? I don't even know.
Herb.
The new kicker's name is Herb.
I don't know the kicker's name.
But listen, Chase McLaughlin, I guess, is what Andrew's telling. Chase McLaughlin, 57-yard field goal. And that might have been his career longest, actually. So that was good. So congratulations to the Bucks. 7:59. We're almost at 8 o'clock here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Now, I want to recognize 9/11, and we shall. I have a 9/11 story, which we'll get to in just a bit, that is just coming to light. This is like an unknown story about a commercial pilot hero as the story is being told. And folks, I have been immersed in 9/11. I am every year. I never forget. I think about 9/11 many times during the year, not just on the anniversary of 9/11 like today. But, folks, you had 2,977 people lose their lives. World Trade Center, Pentagon, and then on the 4 airplanes. And I will never forget that date. I am not numbed. Time does not change how I feel about 9/11 and what happened. I knew families that had victims in 9/11. So there's a story that you haven't heard most likely, which I'll get to in just a bit here on the MJ Morning Show. First, though, a couple of things. We got to talk about shoes. And there's a shoe racket that's going around, which I'm sorry, I do not approve of this. So there's a shoe racket going on, and then there's like a shoe warning about your shoes getting stolen. No.
How do your shoes get stolen?
I got two.
Are they on your feet?
I got 2 different rackets going on when it comes to shoes. And by the way, when I said shoes, you should have seen Roxanne. Roxanne's ears perked up like a dog hearing like a high-pitched sound. Like the RCA dog, like Nipper tilting his head.
Roxanne, how many pairs of shoes do you have?
I don't know.
Ballpark it to the nearest.
But are you a shoe monster?
I'm not a shoe monster like a lot of people know. I mean, but I love shoes. Yeah,
if you had to
I don't know.
guess.
Probably like 50.
Why do women love shoes? I've got 2 pair. I've got maybe 3. I've got like a couple of dress shoes, and then I always have a pair of New Balances, and that's like it. I'm wearing some 990 version 2s right now, or maybe version 4. Now, hold on a minute. What version of these things? 990 V. Does it say anymore? Hold on. So what do you mean? V5.
Oh, V5.
Ooh,
I'm on New Balance V5s right now, 990s. I love these shoes. All right. So 2 shoe things. First of all, this is cheesy. This is seedy. There is a video going around about shoe returns and how you can go buy shoes, use them for an occasion, or maybe even for a photo shoot, whatever, and then return them. And this is seedy. This is just deceptive. I don't like this at all. But it also applies to some of the so-called social media influencers that are trying to get all dolled up and, trying to get all kinds of clicks and all kinds of followers, clickbait and all these so-called influencers. And you got a ton of them. Here's the deal. There's this hack. If you want to go buy shoes, but you don't want to pay for them ultimately, or you can't afford them, or you're trying to just take some social media influencing pictures, there's a whole tutorial from this dude who's showing you go buy the shoes, then you take like the 3M blue painter's tape and you cover the entire bottom of the shoes so you don't scuff up the bottoms, and you can wear them and then return them. You take the blue paint off, the blue painter's tape off the bottom, so you haven't scuffed up, or you can return the shoes without showing any potential wear. I'm sorry, that's low. That's to buy stuff, use it, and then return it.
Yeah, it's some cheapskate stuff.
Buying something knowing you're going to use it and then return it, I can't approve of that. And I saw this social media video hack out there. And again, you've got these content creators, and a lot of these content creators that are like all dressed up, and they're like doing their poses and their duck lips and all that crap, and they're standing there and all this expensive stuff. One of the tricks apparently is for shoes, taking the blue painter's tape and putting it underneath on the soles, and then so you can wear the shoes and it looks like it's brand new, and then you can return them and it looks like you haven't worn them. That sucks. I find that to be deceptive, chintzy, cheap. Yeah, it's kind of
little fraudulent.
Sort of. Yeah, well, that's it. Fraud.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to is fraud.
Or you could just go barefoot in all your IG photos.
Listen, there's a whole fetish situation for that. That might get you even more followers if you just show your, like Froggy, he'll be all over that.
I'd be more inclined to click on a barefooted person.
But I mean, how seedy and this is just cheap. I don't know if we have any.
I see what you're saying, but if this person is, I found the guy and his hack, if he is then getting business for the shoe that he's wearing, then I mean it is still seedy. I don't recommend it, but at least maybe there's a benefit to the shoe company.
He calls it the shoe hack. Return your shoes after your content day. But also, people are going to events. People are going to parties or nights out, and they're also probably going to do this hack. I don't know if anyone listening has done this. I don't expect the phones to blow off the hook on this.
Well, now if we see blue tape on the bottom of someone's shoe when they're at it,
but
they cross their legs, I know what you're doing with those.
But the deal is that you have to fit it perfectly so the blue tape doesn't like overshoot the sole. You can't see the blue tape shooting up on the outside. Fester, what are you looking at?
I got a text just now.
Yeah, but what were you just looking?
I was looking at the station phone number because I was texting just to make sure I was right.
Okay.
1-800-990-1047.
Yeah, so I'll ask callers if you want to phone in. Have you done this blue tape hack to keep the shoes unworn on the bottom so you can return them? Have you done this? 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. But you got a text on your personal phone?
Some guy named Purcell. He sends me a text.
Yep.
He goes, I worked at Nordstrom's in the late 90s and early 2000s, and he has seen shoes come back with the tape, or this is not a new thing to him. He knew about it as you were saying it.
Yeah.
Because he's, Nordstrom's, I guess, is a pretty fancy store.
Yeah, Nordstrom, and they got a big shoe department, right?
I mean, I shop exclusively at the big and tall section of JCPenney, but
listen, if you put blue tape on your shoes and you go to an event, there's no room for error. Like you can't even walk. You need to plant both feet firmly on the ground. Even when you lift your feet up and people see your soles of your feet, they're going to see the blue tape.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to give it away because you're going to look pretty freaking weird if people can see the blue tape. So you form it. What they're saying, you got to make sure it fits perfectly. You don't want any leakage over the side. Listen. Anybody do this? Is anybody a fraudster out there? If you're a fraud artist, call us 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Just out of curiosity. All right. There was one other shoe thing. The phones are ringing. Hold on a minute. I bring up the call screener. Hang on a minute. Fabian, is this the guy that just texted you?
no, that was Purcell.
Oh, Purcell.
Another weird name.
All right. Fabian in Brandon, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Fabian.
How you doing, MJ? How's it going?
Doing well. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Just a little insight, right? So you're talking about the guy that puts the tape on the bottom of the shoe, right?
Yep.
So what about the women that buy all these clothes? They keep the tags on, and then they return it the following day.
That's another thing. We've talked about that numerous times over the years. Buying an outfit, buying a dress for a night out, wearing it, and then returning it. We've talked about that over the years as well. It's the same thing. It's the same basic deal.
That's all, man. I see it a little differently, but that's all, man. I just wanted to add that in there. But
hold on, what do you see differently? You think it's acceptable?
I don't think it's acceptable, but I mean, I see. It's been done in the past, right?
Oh, listen, this activity has been done constantly. There's no doubt about it. What I'm saying is the returning items, leaving the tags on, wearing it, and then returning it, that's been going on for a while. But now what I'm saying is with the shoe deal, it's the same kind of deal. You use it, then you lose it, return it, get your money back. But the difference now is the video that's circulating on putting the blue painter's tape on the heels so the shoe doesn't look worn, that you didn't scuff the bottoms. That's the different take on this story. Fabian, thanks for checking in, buddy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks. All right, Andrew's screening calls in there. I'm going to move on because I have another shoe story. Do you want me to grab that one? All right, Andrew's waving me off on the call. So, all right, so let me do the second shoe item. Oh, look, I just got Roxanne's attention again. Look at that.
Yes.
All right, so shoe theft. This is nuts. This person is claiming that her Tinder date stole her shoes during the date.
Wow.
So the pair she was wearing, or they went back to her house? And
Yes, exactly. Hook up at the house, and the guy stole shoes out of her closet. But wait a minute, it gets better.
Were they the same size?
Hang on. It gets better. So there's a story of a dater who was meeting guys on Tinder, had a date, and this happened in New York City, up in Manhattan or one of the boroughs. It's not specific. And this woman puts out a message on social media, ladies of New York City, be bleeping aware, and then mentions the name of the shoe thief. And this is what the woman writes. This man is out here on Tinder and Hinge. He will steal from you. And then this person shared a picture, a screenshot of the profile of the shoe thief. Listen to this. This is a story about how that effer
Whoa, okay.
stole my Mary Jane. Is it Tabby's, Tabis? Is that the name of the shoe, Roxanne?
Sounds right. Yeah.
Well, it is. I don't know.
Yeah,
Tabis,
yeah.
Mary
That's what I
Jane,
say.
right?
Yeah.
So the guy stole her and apparently the woman's father bought her the shoes as a birthday gift. They were black slip-toe Maison Margiela. How do you say that name? Maison
Maison
Margiela? Margiela?
So I have this pair of shoes pulled up, and it's a very specific shoe.
The shoes that she's talking about that were ripped off, $990. All right. Here's the deal. So she matched this guy on Tinder. They go back to her place after dinner for a little hookup romance. She notices that her shoes are missing. Let me share this. During the date, she was determined that there wasn't a love connection between the Tinder hunk, but they decided to see each other again. So she invited this guy Joshua back to her apartment for a night of romance. So just a little hookup, but there was no, I guess, major long-term potential there. Just a little wham bam, thank you, a little fun time. And then there was the issue. He comes over, we sleep together. But before we sleep together, we're chatting about fashion and stuff, and starts talking about how he really loves a certain type of shoe. And she said the morning after they had their little hookup, Joshua asked if he could use her phone to find a playlist on Spotify. She agreed, but guess what? He was erasing all of his contact information out of her phone. Why? Because he was about to leave and steal shoes out of her closet. And then it wasn't until hours later that she noticed that her high-end heels had gone missing from her shoe collection. Even more alarming, when Lexus ran to her phone planning to contact Joshua about the missing shoes, she realized that he'd unmatched her on Tinder and deleted his phone number from her call history.
Wow.
What the hell? Oh no, this bitch stole my bleeping shoes, she says. Wow. And then she starts putting this out, I guess, on social media. Watch out for this guy. He'll steal the shoes. And then apparently was stealing the shoes for his girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, how did they get that far?
What?
She had to have caught the guy, right?
I mean,
how did he find that out?
This is unbelievable. So this goes viral. After the initial clip about the shoe theft, then I guess there were detectives, little sleuths online that I guess figured out who the guy was, and then discovered in other pictures that he had given his girlfriend the shoes that he had stolen from the Tinder hookup.
Wow.
Oh my
Because then there were pictures of his girlfriend wearing the shoes that belonged to the woman that had her shoes stolen. Is that unbelievable?
It's crazy.
In his Tinder profile, it said you must be a size 7 to date him. You're a size 8.
Oh, my
Get
It
it.
would
God.
work.
I mean, how bizarre is that?
That's creepy.
It is unbelievable. I mean, the stuff that happens out there, the stuff that people do. Listen, if you know anybody in retail, folks will tell you stories about humanity and what people try, what people do, but it's really all walks of life, the crap. You talk to a police officer and the stuff that they see out there, what people will do is unfreaking believable.
Now, would you rather have a guy who you were going on a Tinder date with who wanted to steal your shoes because he had a shoe fetish and a foot fetish, or because he was getting them for his girlfriend?
Folks, don't miss our 9-10 most, I guess, what do I call it? Must hear. Yeah.
Must hear.
Don't miss our, I probably should know the name of it if I'm promoting it.
I'm just thinking.
Don't forget 9-10 this morning. So another reason why you got to be listening to us every morning in our last hour. You got to listen to the 9 o'clock hour, folks. We do some of our best content in the 9 o'clock hour. And every day we do this 9-10 must hear story. And the 9-10 story today is a creepy story about a landlord. You got to hear this story coming up at 9:10 this morning. So a little under an hour from right now here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hey, speaking of deceptive people involved in trickery, I don't think I saw a local story on this anywhere, but I saw it on Fox Business. And then I think the New York Post picked up the story. And it's a Florida restaurant, which happens to be right here in the Tampa Bay area. And I have not been there, but it looks like it's nice. Rick's on the River.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah,
So-
I've been to Rick's several times.
So, okay, look at this. So, Fester's been to Rick's. Roxanne, you've been to Rick's.
Yeah, you know what's fun is to take a boat out from Rick's on the river.
Andrew, have you been to Rick's on the River?
I have.
Look at this. So I'm guessing Froggy probably. If Froggy were here, am I the only one that hasn't been to Rick's on the River?
yeah, probably.
All
It's up the river just north of downtown.
Right. All right. So here's the deal. Restaurant owner has employed a new tactic for taking on dine and dashers after Rick's on the River has faced numerous incidents of guests running off without paying. Rick's on the River owner Ken Brackens detailed the successful strategy where he posts security footage of the perpetrators online and then confronts the dashers face to face. We take the time to get some film where they walked in and where they're sitting and eating. We paste it together, and then sometimes we'll put music to it and post it up on Facebook, and it seems to be very popular.
That's awesome.
Look at this. Then somebody will inevitably recognize the people, give us a call or an email and tell us who they are. So we find out who they are, and we give them a day or so to come in and make it right, and generally they'll come in and pay. That's something that is, to me, so despicable. Somebody that will go to a restaurant, eat the food, utilize the service, and then walk out without paying. You know, the whole dine and dash thing, man. I never did that.
And the sad thing is, I think more people do it, not because they don't have the money to pay, but more because just for the thrill of it.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this confrontation. I'm on the Rick's on the River Facebook page. This just earned my follow. And you can see like the manager standing in the way of a door, and I can't even play this language.
So this is a woman in a Mercedes.
He puts
In
her
a
See, that's my point.
You know, nice Mercedes. This woman is, and then they show the license plate on the car and everything. So Rick's on the River posted this on August 21st, and there's the license plate number and everything of this woman that apparently tried to dine and dash at Rick's on the River. Listen, I think this is great. I fully support, even though I've never been to Rick's on the River. I probably need to stop by now.
It's a cool, laid-back vibe.
But how's the food?
Good.
I probably need to visit this place, but I totally love this concept. It's dine and dasher shaming. And why the hell not?
Oh, he has video of people coming back. One of the perpetrators sheepishly returned to the scene of the crime to make restitution. Thank you for all the assistance and shares and comments from the community.
And I think they're playing the theme from Cops, you know, the bad boys, bad boys.
That's great.
So that's...
Bad boys, bad boys, what you gonna do?
As they come back to make restitution.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
You know what? Should we grab some phone calls? Do we have any listeners that are habitual dine and dashers? Or have you dined and dashed recently? Or do you work at a restaurant? Or do you own a restaurant? Or, hey, maybe Rick is listening. Maybe, Ken Brackens, the owner of Rick's. Maybe Ken Brackens is listening right now.
Oh, man.
800-990, or someone can tell that, Ken Brackens, we're talking about Rick's on. So this got national attention on Fox Business, and it was on TV, I guess, with Stuart Varney, and then there's a whole story on their website. And I guess this Ken Brackens dude made an appearance on Fox Business. All right, folks, I'd like to grab some phone calls here. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Are you a dine and dasher? If you want to remain anonymous, that's fine. Where was the last Where was the last place you dined and dashed? Let's go. 800-990-1047. Listen, you can remain completely anonymous. You're not going to get a thumbs up from me. I'm not happy about this, but are you a dine and dasher? When's the last time you did it? Are you a restaurant worker or an employee? Because a lot of times I've heard that the server sometimes gets stuck with the tab. I don't know. I don't know if that's, I don't know. I don't think that's fair. But let's grab calls here. 800-990-1047. But I love this tactic. I like what Rick's on the River in Tampa is doing by posting videos online of the culprits and dash and dine shame them. Abso-freaking-lutely. I fully support what Rick's on the River is doing. Look, we already have like 2 calls on hold, and Andrew's screening away. Let's go. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. That's how you get on. You have some audio from his interview on Fox Business?
I was trying to get to the link, but we started with calls here.
And maybe it's an accident that you dined and dashed.
It's no accident.
Hello. Remember me in the Charlotte Douglas International Airport when I accidentally stole from the self-checkout?
You tucked the sandwich under your arm and then you walked away. I don't know how the hell you did that.
You got flustered and you left and you didn't pay. That's a little bit different than sitting there enjoying a whole meal, having
by the way,
service.
Hey, Andrew, bring up Roxanne's camera.
You've got your own camera.
Man, you're working in your concealer very late this morning.
I know.
Why?
I know. Because all of a sudden I looked, because I only did half of it, and I just looked up at the screen, and I have like black eyeliner.
Yeah, you're
very,
very ghoulish looking.
Yes.
You're like a ghoul this morning. You know what? You can get a job easily at Halloween Horror Nights this year.
I'm auditioning.
All right, let me go.
Go a hollow scream up here at Busch Gardens.
Let me go to phones. Anonymous in Bradenton is up first. Anonymous, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Anonymous, go ahead.
I would like to know why in the world Fester's being so quiet, because he does that at the hotel.
Well, first of all, you're absolutely right. Second of all, that's not true.
Hold on, why do you have to be anonymous calling in?
Yeah.
I would expect that people that are going to confess to dine and dashing want to be anonymous. You don't have to be anonymous. Come on, what's your first name?
It's Barbie.
Barbie, come on.
Barbie.
Is it really Barbie? Is your last name Oppenheimer? Barbie Oppenheimer?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Oppenheimer.
All right. So we'll go with Barbie, Miss Anonymous. Listen, it's completely different because the hotel doesn't give you a bill. I'm not walking out on a bill. I'm just taking it where there is no bill, although I should have been a resident.
Fester's walking into hotels pretending that he's a guest to get the free breakfast.
Stay there.
Hey,
exactly.
you know
have
what?
to stay there to get the food.
Barbie, I'm going to come down to Bradenton. I'm going to take you to the Holiday Inn Express and get you some of those delicious cinnamon buns.
Hey, you go a little further. You go to Yoder's Amish buffet down there, Amish food. That place? I love that place.
Yes, that's so right, MJ. That's right.
You don't want to dine and dash from the Amish. They'll
don't
hook
do
you
that.
up to a horse.
I'll tell you, they'll run you over with a horse and buggy. We got to get down to Yoder's.
It's a great place. Yeah.
Does he know we're back on the air, the owner down there?
I don't know if they have radios. They're Amish.
Yeah, they have. Anonymous, thanks for calling in. Barbie is her name. Joe in Lutz. Look at the phones on this. 800-990-1047. Joe in Lutz, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
How you doing? I read an article not too long ago that one of the best restaurants to do that with is Cracker Barrel.
Oh,
once you get your meal and they give you your bill, you go up to the front of the store where all the merchandise is, and if it's busy, people just walk right out without paying their bill.
Oh man, that I guess that is. I haven't been to Cracker Barrel in a couple of years, but I guess that's right. It's the honor system. You get your bill and you walk out to that general store with all the knick-knack crap.
Yep, and then it's a hot
got
mess
that
up
right.
there.
And then you can just walk right out you just blend on out. Yeah. But Joe, you've never done that?
I have never done that. I'm honest. I pay my bills. I've never walked out on any restaurant or any bill.
Joe, thank you very much. Mike is in Lakeland. Mike, you're on the MJ Morning Show. And listen, if we have any Dine and Dashers, if you're a Dine and Dasher, call us up. Where's the last place that you dined and dashed and didn't pay? 800-990-1047. Mike in Lakeland, go ahead.
Yeah, MJ. I was over there doing a project over on 19 in Largo. Eating dinner at a restaurant that had an emergency on the project. Ran out real quick and forgot to pay. Didn't realize it until the next day. I went back there and said, hey, you walked out and didn't pay dinner last night. I know you must have had an emergency. So I'm with Roxanne. It can happen by accident.
All right, so then you made good the next day.
Yeah, I went back the next day. The manager knew me. He goes, hey, you must have been an emergency. You ran out and forgot to pay. So I paid.
All right, so they appreciated that you went back to pay.
Yes.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you. Oh, no. Is that Legally Blind Mike on line two?
It says LBM in the name column.
I see LBM. Is he going to say that he was legally blind? And hang on. Is this Legally Blind Mike?
Yes, MJ, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Legally Blind Mike. Hang on a minute. I got to play the Legally Blind Mike intro music.
Legally blind Mike, legally blind Mike. Say Mikey Crash, say Mikey Crash.
All right, so LBM, what did you do?
All right, MJ. So about over 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
20 years, Mike, you're holding on to
right,
this.
but no, but there's a story. I had a friend of mine that was working at Publix at the time, and I remember at that time we got into a discussion about what you just said. People will do anything is absolutely right, because when he worked at Publix, he dealt with people, walking out with pies that they took from the bakery without paying for it. But nonetheless, he told me, he said, look, the store is busy, so if you go in there and you order a pub sub and you walk out the door with it without paying for it, I'm 99.99% sure that you'll get away with it. And that's exactly what happened, MJ. I ordered the sandwich, calmly walked out the door.
Well, dude, that's theft. Mike, what are you talking? That's terrible. I don't condone. I would support your arrest.
That was a hell of a good sandwich, is what that was.
Oh, please.
Mike, you're like a legally blind bandit.
But the only reason I called because Roxanne said she did the same thing. So
I did. I did.
It's a little different.
She did it accidentally. She had her little monster. She's at the Charlotte Douglas Airport, right? Was that where it was?
Yeah, Charlotte Douglas International Airport. And I was checking out at the self-checkout, and, I had carry-on bags, my kids' bags, trying to keep them under control, a stroller. And so I stuffed a sandwich under my armpit. Doesn't someone want to eat it after I do that? Yeah. And then, I checked out and forgot to pay for the sandwich.
I got to run. Guess who's calling in?
Rick?
Ken Brackens.
Oh, Ken.
From Rick's. Hang on a minute. Ken, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning.
So this is great. I said I hope that Ken from Rick's on the River will call in, and here he is. Welcome.
Well, thanks. Yeah, a lot of your viewers, your listeners were calling me this morning. I'm getting ready to go to work. I listened to you on the way in, but
that's awesome.
So hold on. So Ken, you do listen to us as well?
Yeah, that's the only station that comes in, or I might have listened to somebody else.
Guy's got a sense of humor as well. All right. So this whole story, and I found out about this because Fox Business did a story online. You appeared on Stuart Varney's show. So was there any local media on your process of Dine and Dash shaming these people?
Well, yeah, the Tampa Times did a little story, and it wasn't really that big of a deal, and then it got picked up by,
So I did not see the original Tampa Bay Times story, but listen, Ken, I fully agree with what you're doing. I mean, I just don't know how low someone can be to deliberately eat your food, utilize your service, and then just walk out without paying. And the fact that you are posting videos of these perps, I think it's fantastic. So give us some background. How long you been doing that?
It's been about a little over a year since we really started, naming and shaming. It's a problem with every single restaurant everywhere. They've always got some of them, and usually they just chalk it up to that's just the cost of doing business. And it just started pissing me off when they were, not even screwing me, but the servers, they'll run them ragged, and then they leave without tipping them. So when we started doing it, there was so many people were interested in it that we started, actually putting it to music and making jokes about it. And,
yep.
So it's just become really popular.
Yeah, I even played the Bad Boys theme.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
You're even using that music. Like the lady in the Mercedes Benz, she's driving like a $70,000 Mercedes, and she's trying to rip you off.
Yeah, that's right. She just didn't want to pay for her beer. She said, I was standing right next to her. I hear a pitcher hit the deck. I look over, and it's a few ounces of foam and beer on the floor, and it was. I mean, we had that hurricane came through last week, and people were sitting out there with pitchers of beer and half pitchers of beer. They weren't blowing over. So she complained she wasn't going to pay. She wanted another pitcher. It didn't look like she needed one. I just kind of walked off. But my manager gave her another 16-ounce draft, just in good faith, and she drank that, guzzled that down, and got up and started walking off, and she refused to pay.
And then you guys confronted her in the parking lot with video. That's fantastic. Hey, I support what you're doing. If you were to guess, is there an average number of Dine and Dashers? Like, what was like the weekly loss that you think you experienced with Dine and Dashers?
Well, it's not that bad, I mean, it's one every maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Sometimes sometimes they'll come back to back, one or two in a week. And
have you noticed a reduction in Dine and Dashers since you started posting videos?
Yes, for sure.
Look at that.
It's gone way
good.
down.
Look,
way down.
Fester's showing me a picture of Blanton's bourbon up on your bar right now, huh?
Yes, sir. We have the least expensive bourbon, Blanton's bourbon in town, maybe the state. I don't know.
Look at that. Hey, Ken, thanks for coming on. Yes, Rox.
Ken, I'm going to write a little story myself about the conversation we just had with you and put it on our website, if you don't mind. Can I steal a picture from your Facebook? Do I have permission to do that?
Sure.
Okay, awesome.
Sure, go right ahead.
All right, hang on. Andrew's asking to put you on hold here. And Ken, I've not been to Rick's on the River. Of course, I'm aware of it, but I will make a trip in the near future and try your fine establishment out. And I promise I will pay my bill.
All right, I appreciate it. We've only been there 29 years, so I can see why you haven't been already.
Now, Rick's on the River, honestly, Rick's on the River is a quintessential Tampa must-visit establishment.
I know.
It's right there on the river. It's a lot of outdoor dining. It's a cool place.
You know how many places? There are so many good places. I haven't gotten everywhere I want to go, but I've got to make a point. Hey, thanks for listening. I appreciate it, Ken. Thank you.
I appreciate the support. Thank you.
All right, hold on one second. I'm going to put you on hold. Andrew Grant, he's on line 3. Andrew wanted to talk to him off the air. So how about that? So he listens to us, he says. He wasn't in the car yet. And then he has tons of people calling him. Hey, MJ's talking about you. Again, our listenership is huge. I just wish that it could be properly reflected.
So the Tampa Bay Times article, their Facebook post was 4 days ago.
Yep.
And then Varney and company had him on Fox News 3 days ago. So this is still a fairly new story. Although there wasn't like TV coverage or anything.
Yeah, but again, I love it. I love the dine and dashing shaming. I think it's absolutely fantastic. All right, I mentioned, obviously, earlier this 9/11 story that is just coming to light. Folks, it is 9/11. It has been 22 years since that horrific day. And, we had just brought Chloe into the world. Chloe was born on August the 20th of 2001. And a couple of weeks later, here's 9/11. And Michelle and I were despondent. It's like, oh my God, look at the world we just brought her into. Folks, when I think about 9/11, it still gets very raw for me on the emotions. And I'll never forget that 2,977 people died on 9/11. World Trade Center victims, Pentagon victims, victims on all 4 airplanes. There's a story which I was unfamiliar with about a TWA pilot. We could have had even more death on that day. A TWA pilot dodged 2 of the hijacked. Oh, wait a sec. Do we? Tell the callers thanks. I segued on. We had more callers holding. I'm sorry. I apologize, folks. But TWA pilot dodged 2 hijacked planes on 9/11 is being called an unsung hero. So the Post had the story, and people just don't know about this. I had no idea. And I know, listen, I read the commission report. I mean, I've been involved in so many of the intricacies, the 9/11 rumor stories, the urban legend stories that came out. I was part of debunking a lot of that stuff, through my broadcast outlets over the years. A TWA pilot who narrowly averted collisions with hijacked planes headed to attack the World Trade Center and the U.S. Capitol on September 11, 2001, is being remembered 22 years later as an unsung hero. The little-known incidents are buried in the history of 9/11 when 2,977 people were killed. The pilot on TWA, of course, TWA is now defunct. The pilot on TWA Flight 3 took evasive action twice before safely landing. First, to avoid colliding with United Flight 175. Because remember, those guys, those hijackers, they weren't following any air traffic control. They were ignoring all rules of the sky, all air traffic control. Air traffic controllers, they keep planes separated, the vectors, and they didn't care. They had missions to go on suicide missions with those airplanes. So this TWA Flight 3 pilot took evasive action, first to avoid colliding with United Flight 175, which struck the World Trade Center, and then Flight 93. That crashed into the ground in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, after we believe there was a big passenger uprising that then confronted the hijackers, and that plane was most likely headed to the U.S. Capitol building, as I think is what we've determined. Capitol or the White House, most likely the Capitol building. So we could have had a plane smash into the Capitol dome. I mean, it could have been, 9/11 could have even been more horrific than what occurred. But this is all according to a New York-based flight attendant who was on the crew. There were 2 near misses, she told the Post. The unflappable pilot was never memorialized or even publicly identified in the 9/11 Commission report or other accounts. Yet to the passengers on that fateful flight, he is unforgettable. He saved our lives without a doubt, said retired FDNY Lieutenant Charlie Hubbard, who was one of the passengers on the plane. There is a screenshot from a television news interview. That's all that exists of this pilot. And I think there's enough image of this pilot for people to identify who the pilot was all these years later. So TWA's Boeing 767 took off from JFK for St. Louis at 8:47 a.m., almost exactly when hijacked American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower at 8:46, the first to strike the World Trade Center. Commanding the cockpit was George, said the flight attendant, who could only recall his first name. As the TWA jet ascended in the clear blue sky, passengers spotted a shocking sight: the World Trade Center on fire. Because where you take off from JFK, you can look out the window, you can see the Manhattan skyline, depending on which runway you're departing and what your heading is. So minutes later, the jet confronted United 175 as it headed toward New York City from Boston, said the flight attendant. We were scissoring up and down, she recalled, referring to the defensive maneuver. I thought we were going to crash, one of the terrified TWA passengers told ABC News in a resurfaced video clip. The plane was shaking as it went down and came back up. And then you can see Like the plane just bypassed us really close. So this TWA flight taking off from JFK almost was hit by one of the planes going into the World Trade Center. And this pilot was able to avoid a collision in midair. So if that would have happened, it would have taken this plane out, and that means that the second plane would not have hit the Twin Towers. So, I mean, imagine that scenario. So one of the towers might have remained. But taking out this TWA Boeing 767 Flight 3 to St. Louis that morning on 9/11/01.
Wow. I never heard that story.
Apparently no one has. After learning that United 175 struck the South Tower at 9:03 a.m., the TWA flight attendants pushed food carts up against the cockpit door to guard against the possible hijacking. The pilot warned the crew he'd be standing behind the door with an axe. The New York flight attendant recalled. Let into the cockpit to remove the pilot's food tray, she recalled a chilling warning on the speaker. This is a national emergency. By order of the federal government, any plane still in the sky in 20 minutes will be shot down by friendly fire. The pilot first planned to make an emergency landing in Indianapolis was diverted to Dayton, Ohio, though. Passengers able to phone home started screaming that the Pentagon was hit, which was Flight 77. That was the American Airlines 75 that crashed into the Pentagon. You know, there were still conspiratorialists that don't think that a plane hit the Pentagon. I mean, just insanity. I mean, at the scene, there were parts exclusive to the Boeing 757 that were littered all over the place, including the very distinctive wheel on the front landing gear of that airplane. Anyway, so is that unbelievable? That I never knew about that.
No.
Never knew about this. So that was one of the planes. And then terrorists on American Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. But then this is crazy. The pilot took evasive action again to get away from Flight 93 out of Newark, which was headed toward Washington, D.C., according to the flight attendant. And then Flight 93 crashed in the field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. After pilot George landed in Dayton, he confirmed matter-of-factly that he had avoided a plane that struck the World Trade Center. He was up there when we were coming from New York, so we had to do they, flight control, were not talking to him, and he was changing his heading and altitude, so they cleared us to deviate. However, we had to stay away from him. He told ABC World News Tonight in this footage that was forgotten, that has recently been uncovered. We had him in sight. It was a nice day in New York. We were out of the clouds, which helped a lot. We just, dodged him. The TWA crew arrived at the St. Louis hub 2 days later to applause and learned how close they had come to the second hijacked jet. That was Flight 93. So they missed, Flight 93 missed their tail by 500 feet is what they said.
Wow.
Crazy. So 9/11 story that I never heard, and I'm sure most of you never heard as well.
Yeah, so that's crazy. You can picture the pilot talking to air traffic control, getting information like he would, but you have no idea what this other plane is doing.
Wow.
You're just making guesses.
Absolutely unbelievable. So I don't know how to segue out of that cleanly, so I guess I just got to segue out of it. On a much, much lighter note, I got a direct message from a listener who says this is the surefire way to get somebody's attention in a crowd.
Okay.
I mean, the stuff I get via email, the stuff I get via direct message, I love it. Folks, you can always email me anything at mj@mjmorningshow.com. It's my private email. I'm the only one that sees it. Content, gossip, you got a hot tip, something you need to tell me. You can always email me privately and securely, and I get a ton of content. You can email me at mj@mjmorningshow.com. The other way is you can send me a direct message on Instagram. I'm Certified MJ Radio. So give me a follow, and you can send me a DM, Certified MJ Radio. And this came from Kerry. C-A-R-I. You think that's Carrie? Carrie?
Carrie?
Yeah.
C-A-R-I. Sends me this little direct message. Hey, MJ. Big fan of the show. My hubby was trying to get my attention in a crowd by waving, but that didn't work. So instead, he made a helicopter motion by putting one finger in the air and twirling it. He said waving never gets anyone's attention, but if you do the helicopter, it always gets people's attention. Show topic! Exclamation point.
Is it the right kind of attention?
Ask callers if that's true. By the way, folks, we're coming up on 8:45 right now. We're close to 8:46. And, of course, that would be the first moment 22 years ago that the first plane hit the World Trade Center.
So I remember on the morning show that day, MJ, we were talking to some guy who was looking for his long-lost son.
Yep.
Right, it was a quirky story. It's kind of an odd guy. And then our news guy, Martin Giles, comes breaking in. And he said that the World Trade Center had been hit by a plane. They didn't know what. And then we turned on the Today Show, and there it was.
We've got the audio in the archives
it's
here.
out there.
Yeah. But it is 8:46 right now, exactly. So this is the time 22 years ago that the first plane hit the World Trade Center. 8:46 a.m. And that was Flight 175. So, gives me chills to think about it. At 8:46. You know what? Let's take a break here. I think it's a natural spot. And then, should we go back to the helicopter twirl? I think that's kind of interesting.
It's interesting, all right.
The twirling helicopter finger. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, you don't know what we're talking about. A listener reached out. All right, we've got to get into the whole Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis controversy now regarding the Danny Masterson, that 70s show deal. We have just a lot to get to in the next chunk of the show. And also, don't forget the 9:10 must-hear story. It's a landlord creepy story you got to hear. So make sure you keep listening. You got to hear the must-hear story coming up at 9:10 this morning here on the MJ Morning Show. All right, quick break, and we got another long chunk of the show next as this wraps up an hour and 20 minutes plus of the MJ Morning Show with no interruptions, and we do it every morning here on Q105 in the MJ Morning Show. So we're... Depeche Mode brings me back to when I saw Depeche Mode live in concert at Dodger Stadium. I think 1990, if I wasn't mistaken. Fester, bring up the Googles, would you please? Depeche Mode. Find out what date. I think it was March of 1990, maybe. Look up Depeche Mode Dodger Stadium tour date. Depeche, dude, Depeche, Depesh?
Google corrects
Come on, man.
I think there's a video clip live at Dodger Stadium 1990. That's on YouTube.
Yeah, I see that.
When did...
Hold on. Oh, August 4th. All right, so Andrew can search quicker. So it was August 4th, 1990, right? I knew it was 1990. Hold on. Wait a sec. No?
August 4th, August 5th.
Oh, hang on a minute. All right, so the month and date were opposite. Oh, so it was April. Yeah, so I thought it was March. No, it was April. So April 8th of 1990, Depeche Mode was at Dodger Stadium. I was working in Los Angeles at the time, and I took a date to see Depeche Mode at Dodger Stadium.
I think it's August.
Was it Michelle? Would that have been
no, now Andrew's telling me it was August 4th. Andrew, what the hell date was it?
It was August 4th and
the 5th. Ticket says Saturday, August 4th, 6:30 p.m.
All right, there we go. Okay, so it was not April, so it was August.
So you and Michelle on a date?
No, this was 1990. I'm in Los Angeles. Michelle wasn't in Los Angeles with me. Now, I knew Michelle. I met Michelle.
I knew you knew her then.
I met Michelle in March of 1988 in Virginia Beach. And then I moved to Los Angeles to work for a radio station out there for a couple of years. And I wish Michelle were out there, but she wasn't. I dated while I was out there. And
Did you take the deaf model to this concert?
No, don't bring that up.
You're like, what do you think? And she's like, I don't know.
Listen, the deaf model, the deaf New York runway model that I was introduced to, I went out a couple of times.
I don't know.
She wasn't a girlfriend, okay? All I know that she was deaf, and we communicated by writing on a pad. And she was a model in New York City for a modeling agency. Remember the story? I was on a flight from Virginia Beach back to New York, and I sat next to this woman who worked for the modeling agency and was kind of like the handler, and they had a couple of apartments where they put these models up, and she said, I've got this girl you ought to take out.
Yeah, because you wouldn't shut up. And she's like, oh my God, I know this deaf girl who
She's
would
perfect
love
for you.
She can't hear a thing you're saying.
Why'd you have to bring, because Michelle won't let me forget about dating the deaf model. She was from Florida, by the way. She was from Melbourne. So I don't know whatever happened to her, but she did steal my FDNY sweatshirt from my apartment. No, she didn't steal my shoes, but I had an FDNY sweatshirt that FDNY came in on the WPLJ morning show, and they came in for something that brought a whole bunch of FDNY swag, and I had a great FDNY sweatshirt. And she said she was cold, and she put it on. She ended up leaving with it. I never got it back.
That was her lovely parting gift.
Yeah, exactly. So why'd you have to bring up the deaf model? Now Michelle's going to... I'm working out with Michelle at 10 o'clock at the X-Force. Come on. Now
you better watch out. She's going to take her aggression out on you.
Now she's going to bring up the deaf model again, Fester. You had to bring that up.
You tell Meech that I said to take it easy.
Don't call her Meech. I've never called her Meech in my life.
I exclusively call her Meech.
Yeah,
and
she hates
nobody calls her Meech.
No one does.
Except for me.
Yeah, whatever.
And she won that prize.
All right, so moving along. All because we just played Depeche Mode.
Okay, and you saw them 34 years ago.
On 4 August 1990 at Dodger Stadium.
33 years ago.
Which I got free tickets from the promotions department at Pirate Radio, 100.3 FM, KQLZ Los Angeles, where I used to work for a couple of years. All right, so back to the helicopter finger. I kind of like this idea. So, again, Corey wrote in and said, hey, if you want to get someone's attention in a crowd, you don't wave because no one sees waving in a crowd. You do the helicopter finger. So you just twirl your, if you're trying to get someone's attention and they're looking for you, you just take your hand, you stick it up, and you like index finger in the air, and you start twirling like a helicopter.
Look what a small little motion that is. It's
bigger.
What do you have to do? Like this? An actual, like over your head twirl?
You do like a Sikorsky helicopter. Oh, so move it along. But try that, folks. If you're trying to get someone's attention in a crowd, do the helicopter hand motion instead of just a regular wave.
What we do in our family is I carry a sign with me, and then if I need to get Doug's attention, then I start spinning the sign, like the sign spinner people. That works.
Oh, really? Do you have one of those inflatable, like tall pencil men that flings back and forth in the wind as well?
During on weekends, she stands in front of new home communities trying to get people to come in.
All right, so I gotta tell you about it. Speaking of Sikorsky's, I was just falling asleep last night, and it was after midnight, and I was falling asleep last night, and I got to try to find this. Let me see. Here it is. A Coast Guard Sikorsky helicopter, which it was a Jayhawk. And hey, Andrew, maybe you could call and find out because I'm really curious. So last night, I'm getting ready to fall asleep, and I hear a helicopter over the house. And it was pretty low. I'm like, yeah, Michelle, it's a helicopter. So I grabbed my phone, and I brought up my Flight Radar 24 app, and I can see the helicopter on the app flying over my neighborhood. And quickly, I see that it's a United States Coast Guard helicopter. It's a Sikorsky MH-60T. So a Mike Hotel 60 Tango Jayhawk helicopter. And I'm like, where's that going? And then I see it headed toward Harbor Island and Davis Islands. I'm like, what's going on? And sure enough, I said to Michelle, I wonder if this thing is going to land at Tampa General Hospital. And this was last night, like 12:30 last night, 0042. So 12:42 this morning. But then I look back at its flight path, and it originated like 20 miles off of Clearwater Beach in the Gulf.
So they had a rescue?
So that's what I'm thinking.
Straight to TGH?
So, yeah. So what happened in the Gulf, unless it was a training mission, maybe it was a training mission.
Sure.
So, Andrew, can you try to get a hold? And then I watched it leave Tampa General, and then it flew back to the U.S. Coast Guard hangar
in Clearwater.
At Clearwater at PIE, at the St. Pete Clearwater Airport. So, Andrew, if you can, call the Coast Guard, see if you can find the local Coast Guard number. And I'm just curious, was there a rescue last night off the coast of Clearwater out in the Gulf that they brought somebody to Tampa General Hospital at after midnight this morning? Or was it a training mission? I'm just curious. I love this app. I love Flight Radar 24.
I know you do.
What is that supposed to mean?
It sounded a little condescending.
It's just, we know.
It sounded a little sorry. I appreciate it, Roxanne, because I would have said the same.
It was for you.
Hey, Andrew, do you have the that 70s music again? Is it still on my soundboard, or did you take that off? Did you remove that? Yeah, well, just play it for me, because we have a That 70s Show update in the aftermath of the whole Danny Masterson's sentencing. He's doing 30 years in the California penal system after he couldn't apparently control his penal some 20 years ago. So That 70s Show. Hit it, Andrew. Let me hear it. Hello, Cell Block C is what he's going to be saying. And, of course, his wife is Bijou Phillips. Mm-hmm. But here's...
Boy, do they have a messed up family.
Yeah, that's going to be messed. Well, listen, he was convicted of raping 2 women about 20 years ago. And the whole Scientology entanglement, and that's the whole other offshoot. But now we found out that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, that they supported him. Did they write letters? They wrote letters prior to his sentencing, and now that's come out. And there's backlash against Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher because, of course, you had Ashton Kutcher. Was Mila on that 70s show as well?
Yes.
That's right.
That's where they met.
That's where they met. Right. So they were both on that 70s show, and now it's turned into a whole big deal because they came out in support of him and wrote letters to the court. Character letters. And I was like, wait a sec, you're coming to the defense of an accused, now a convicted rapist who was awaiting sentencing, and you're writing nice things. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, 2 of Danny Masterson's friends, and yes, they were all on that 70s show. They went to bat for him before he was hit with the 30 years to life prison sentence for sexually assaulting 2 women at his Hollywood Hills home about 20 years ago.
Now people are going to try to cancel them.
Well, you know the person you know. I mean, you know people who have secret lives or do things you don't know, and you could vouch for them. And the person,
it's people have secret lives and do things, but generally it doesn't include rape 20 years ago.
If somebody who I'm close with gets accused of something and I'm dyed-in-the-wool believe they're innocent, you may want to vouch for them.
So ahead of the sentencing last Thursday, Masterson's victims portrayed the 47-year-old as a predator in very powerful impact statements from the victims delivered to the court. Following the sentencing, one of Masterson's lawyers maintained his innocence and said the fight was far from over. The appellate lawyers are confident that these convictions will be overturned. In letters to the court submitted before the sentence was issued, Kunis and Kutcher painted a portrait of the disgraced actor that was completely at odds with his ruthless predator behavior that was alleged and proved in court, where he drugged and raped women. And now there's blowback on Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher now. So now they had to come out and said that they're aware of the pain that their Danny Masterson defense letters caused. And one of the victims is slamming Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis for their insulting apology video for supporting a rapist. So, that's a new twist here. And then before I get to the 9-10 must-hear story of the day with this creepy landlord, now you have sort of a movement. Some people are calling for the cancellation of that 70s show from reruns because of what Danny Masterson was accused of, convicted of, and sentenced for. And they're trying to suggest, well, look, they pulled the Cosby Show.
Oh, they did. That's right. I was just thinking that.
This is apples and oranges.
Yeah, listen, it was a little different. The Cosby Show was called The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
And Bill Cosby was the lead and the star. Masterson was part of, I'm not minimizing what he's accused of doing. It's horrific.
But it was an ensemble cast.
A huge ensemble cast.
If it was the Danny Masterson show,
that would be different.
Cancel that one.
Yeah.
But you don't need to cancel that 70s show.
All right, on to the 9-10 must-hear story of the day. Folks, you got to be listening. The 9-10 must-hear story of the day. So hopefully we have folks from the 6, 7, and 8 o'clock hours that are still listening to hear the 9-10 must-hear story. It's actually 9:12 right now, so I try to get as close to on time as I can. But this is weird. You want to hear a creepy landlord story? I wonder if we have listeners where this has happened, where the maintenance guy kind of pokes around your apartment like when you're at work, because he knows your schedule.
Oh, dude, I'm sure.
Or, well, you know what? We've had those stories in the past. I know we've talked about those, but listen to this. A woman is accusing her landlord of repeatedly going into her apartment, always pretending to fix things. Stuff that she didn't know was broken, but he's in there. Oh, yeah, how to fix it. What is he, sniffing her shoes or something, or
right.
even worse?
Yeah, shoes if you're lucky.
That's why I said, or even worse. I decided not to be graphically descriptive and talk about panties or something.
There you go.
All right, so this person posted a video online, Sarah Kiro, and says that her landlord stands in her bedroom And the landlord is always like fixing things that she didn't know. He walks into the bathroom. Anyway, in the video, she says that he keeps entering my apartment whenever he wants, covers the cameras that she has inside the home.
What?
She says it's landlord abuse, but he always claims that he's there to fix items in the apartment.
Why is he covering the cameras?
Yeah.
He's a helicopter landlord.
That's what it appears to be. It sounds like he's just, a creepy landlord that somehow has some kind of a fixation on this female tenant and is always... Hey, folks, if anyone's listening and you've had a similar situation, you ever have a creepy landlord or a creepy maintenance guy that always seemed to be in your apartment, or you caught him, or, whatever? 800-990-1047. Any kind of comment on this? 800-990-1047 is how you get in.
I had a scary story. I think this is probably the most scared I've ever been in my life. When I walked into my
That's quite a statement.
It is. And the reason I know that is because you know how when you're scared, you go into your fight or flight mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd been grocery shopping. I walked into my apartment when I lived in Bakersfield, and I set my things down, on the table. When I walked in, I looked to my left and I see like this sort of, in shape, larger man in my kitchen.
An in shape, larger man.
In my kitchen.
Were you noticing how defined his pecs were?
Well, I wasn't like looking at that. I'm just like, immediately your brain goes to, this guy's going to attack me.
I get it.
And I scream, I go, what are you doing? And I said it in to the point where I don't even recognize my voice. It was like this really aggressive, crazy voice. And he's like, it's okay, calm down. I'm just here to fix the plumbing. And he told me, he goes, I've never seen someone look so crazy as you did. Like I was in fight or flight mode. Like I was going to.
Well, listen, that's just as much on him for not letting you know that he was in your apartment.
Yeah.
Right. Fight or flight, or Glock or rock.
The only incident I ever had was when I had an apartment and I fell asleep on the couch naked.
And this unbelievably attractive female maintenance worker in a bikini came in?
No, the big fat
plumber
exterminator.
bikini crack going on?
The exterminator came in and sprayed the whole apartment and left. And then I wake up with there's a little note on the table. Exterminator's been here. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So you slept through the entire exterminator coming into your apartment?
Naked as a jaybird.
Oh my God.
That's the worst part.
My God. Did he spray for like bed bugs in your crotch or something?
I have an area he could have looked at.
So anyway, the landlord rights vary from state to state. Laws and leases vary, but I think most leases and laws state that the landlord must give tenants advance notice before entering the residence. But this woman believes the landlord's intentionally blocking cameras or turning cameras that she has installed in her apartment. But she also, because she called the police and also captures a police officer who she called over to complain, say that the landlord is saying that he's there to fix things. So, but, that's creepy, man. Landlord that, has some kind of an affinity or an affection for this tenant and always wants to be in her apartment doing what? What, sniffing her, pillowcase to, who knows? All right. Any issues? Any landlord? Any creepy landlord or maintenance worker issues where you've lived? 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Two guys are on hold right now. As any women listening, ever have a creepy landlord or maintenance worker? Anything that was just out of ordinary? Kevin's in Lakeland. Kevin, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I used to have a landlord that he would go up on my front porch and hang out there and wait for me to get off work. He'd want to sit there and talk for like an hour, and then one day he showed up. I got off work, and he kept claiming that I was letting his wife stay at my place, and it eventually hit the point to where I saw that he would actually try to jimmy my door. I would notice that my door would have marks on the between the doorknobs.
Yeah.
And this went on for 2 months, 3 months, and finally I couldn't stand it. The dude would sit on my porch, and I was told by my neighbors he'd sit there for half the day and wait on me.
So he thought that you were hooking up with his wife?
Yeah, that happened. It happened for months, man. And
What did his wife look like?
she wasn't a looker. She definitely wasn't a looker.
All right, thanks,
And,
Kevin. I appreciate you calling in.
There you.
All right, let me grab all guys right now. Brian is in Riverview. Oh, Brian says he was a property manager previously. Hey, Brian, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning, everybody.
What's up?
Yeah, I was a property manager at a Florida State apartment community in Tallahassee back in the day, and this was well before all these cameras and all that kind of stuff were available. But we kind of housed a lot of Florida State cheerleaders and a lot of the athletes, gymnastics people, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we had this maintenance guy that apparently was going into these apartments because we had electronic key cards like the hotels. So we didn't have to have keys, and he could go into them with a master key card. And obviously with students, you knew their schedules if you knew who they were. So he would be going into all of these girls' apartments while they were in class. And one of them came to us and said, I have just a lot of underwear that are missing.
Oh.
So she finally decided it got to be so much that, she knew her roommates aren't going to take her underwear. So she skipped class one day and hid in her closet. And lo and behold, the guy came in her room, and she flat out busted him going through her laundry basket and her underwear drawer.
Was his name Carl?
Nope.
Okay, just checking. I was just thinking of Breakfast Club. All right. All right. So.
No. No, he was just as creepy though. He was weird, too.
Oh man! So what happened? Was he arrested? Was he fired? What happened?
Well, he was definitely fired, and the arrest part of thing would have been through the women, and they for whatever weird reason didn't want to do anything.
Did they ever find the panty stash of what he was stealing from all these college girls, all these co-eds?
That's the interesting story, and that's how it got to be so widespread. Is it wasn't just her. It was. I mean, this place had 1,500 people that lived at it.
Oh wow.
So, and being a Florida State apartment community, I don't want to sound sexist or weird, but there's a lot of attractive women that go to Florida State.
No doubt.
High end apartment community. So, it was a pretty rampant problem. Apparently, he had, and they went in his apartment, searched his apartment, and found just a ton. And it wasn't even just underwear; it was all kinds of weird,
like bras, underwear. He would take little trinkets from their apartments, right?
Kind of even worse than that, but I'm not going to go there.
Like what? Like devices and toys and stuff.
Yep, and the list goes on.
Okay, all right, we'll leave it right there. Hey, Brian, listen, this is why I take phone calls, because you just filled in a whole lot of blanks here. So, hey, thank you, buddy.
All right, man.
I was going to say fill a lot of holes, but I probably should have said. Hey, anyway, so Brian, thank you very much. Have a great day. All right, one more call. All guys on this. Anthony's in Sarasota. Anthony, final word on this. Good morning, Anthony. Go ahead quickly.
So my father owned an apartment building in Illinois, and he had to go to the bathroom really bad. And he was knocking on doors, couldn't get anyone an answer, so he let himself in, did number 2 in the bathroom, heard the front door opening, went out the back door, went downstairs into the boiler room, and he can hear the husband and wife going, "Ooh, it stinks. What stinks?"
Oh, no. All right.
They started blaming each other for number 2, and it wasn't them.
But thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. All right, 9:22 at the MJ Morning Show. Let me grab our last break, and then we'll do the final chunk of the MJ Morning Show next. And we got a lot to get to. I mentioned, did I mention I had something for you?
You said something about Crocs.
Crocs, yeah, I got a Croc story for Fester. I want to know if you're going to rock this Croc, all right? Hold on, I'll explain in just a minute. If you're a pet owner, 4 in 10 owners said they would do this if you're a pet owner. Hold on. That is just scratching the surface. We got a lot of stuff to do in the final segment. I hate to leave good stuff on the table. So we generally have a very, very densely packed, high impact, highly quality filled final segment on this show. And it's next here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Now, That's a great song. Never a real hit, kind of a stiff, as they say in the biz. But for rejoin music, it's just fine. Do you even know what that is, Fester? You ever hear that?
I don't know what it is, but I do like it.
Andrew, did you ever hear that song? Do you know that song at all? Do you remember that?
I don't think I was familiar with that one.
Yeah, that is the intro to Girls with Guns, Tommy Shaw, who was in
Styx.
Is that on the air?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Styx.
Oh, I knew you knew, Andrew. I was trying to quiz Fester.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't say it then.
Yeah.
I'm a comedian guy, not a music guy.
Yeah, it's a great song. It was just kind of a maybe top that at like number 17 on the top 40 charts in I think 1984. Yeah. Hey, Andrew, bring the song up. You know what? Just for the heck of it. Little, hey, Lost Jukebox from Hell or whatever the hell they call that stuff,
Do we have that song in the system?
We're not going to have it in the system. There's no way. But Andrew can bring it up on YouTube. Yeah, scroll. Don't do the live version. There's one that's like the whole video where there's like a 2-minute dead roll where they're just walking through backstage. Just bring up the actual song itself when you find it. But it's a cool song. Tommy Shaw, Girls with Guns. You ever hear that song, Roxanne, or no?
I don't think so.
You ever heard that?
No.
Oh, you're going to.
Well, listen, it's from the 1980s. We're an 80s station. And, sometimes I think we ought to play an occasional total dud that never charted. I've played that numerous times. I think it drives Michelle crazy because I do like the song. So I decided to add it to the rejoin bumper music for when we just come out of commercials without playing a song. We just go right into content. So probably more than you wanted to know about Tommy Shaw and Girls with Guns.
Yeah, sometimes you have quirky music taste. Sometimes I feel you, and sometimes just lukewarm on that one.
Oh, so you're not feeling me on that one? You're not feeling me? All right, fine. Fester.
Yes.
What are you wearing right now? What are on your feet?
Crocs.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I'm wearing my new Crocs, the ones that I doused in gasoline getting ready for the hurricane. I've since washed them out, and they're back to 100%.
All right. Do you know? I don't know how Crocs get uglier than they already are.
They're the best shoe ever. If I had the choice, I would never wear another shoe the rest of my life.
You know what MJ is? MJ's a Croc blocker because he doesn't like people to wear Crocs.
That's great.
Are you a Croc blocker?
Nice. Salute, Roxanne.
Look at that. Roxanne picking up on a little bit of a thing from last week.
Yeah.
Look at that. Little repetitive humor here on the MJ Morning Show.
We're allowed to air that.
Yes,
so.
yeah, we can say Croc block.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roxanne's a big Croc blocker. Oh, look at that color.
Yeah, it's like my neon green.
Right, but that actually kind of comports with what I'm about to talk about. Did you know that Crocs is about to release maybe the ugliest shoe ever, and it's a Shrek-inspired Croc?
Oh, really?
You didn't know this?
I didn't.
Look at this. Breaking Croc news on the MJ Morning Show. Breaking news.
I want to see the Shrek Croc.
Hang on, where's my breaking news noise? Here we go. All right. Where the heck's my... Oh, here it is. Over here. There it is. All right, breaking news.
Oh, these are cool.
Crocs is unveiling a swampy new collection and collaboration. The Shrek Croc. With like Shrek, Horton Gives a Who funnel horns coming out of the damn shoe.
Those are his ears.
Oh, is that what it is?
And they would take a place of like the gibbets.
Can I what?
Like the things you plug inside a Croc are called gibbets.
What do you plug in a Croc?
See, like the holes you can get like little.
Oh, you can pull
plastic.
You buy things to cover up the holes.
Yeah. And
all right. I've never worn Crocs. I've never owned Crocs. I find them to be lazy and disgusting and hideous. All right. Look, Roxanne, are you feeling me?
Yes, I am.
She's feeling. Come here, feel me. Come on, feel me good.
And even their marketing that they just said, what did they say? This new Swampy edition?
Yes.
Is that what they called it? Like Swampy just makes me think of sweaty, swampy, stinky feet.
Listen to this. Crocs and Shrek are the ultimate swampy soulmates from a land far, far away. So fuzzy brown heel straps mimic Shrek's trademark vest. Detachable charms called gibbets. Yeah, there you go. Decorate the front of the shoe. You know, can I also confess I've never seen Shrek?
It's cute.
I've never seen the Shrek movie.
I've never seen the movie. It just doesn't call my name. I just don't have any desire. No, who voices Shrek?
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers. Yep. And then Eddie Murphy is the donkey. Yep. Okay, gotcha.
Funny guys, but
it's just not my thing. I just have never been the Lord. So, Fester, would you be a customer for the Shrek Croc?
Probably not. It's a little too cartoony for a person that's already pretty cartoony.
The limited edition Shrek Croc will be available starting September 13th. So that's going to be what? Wednesday. So Wednesday, September 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Crocs.com. Yeah, and through select wholesale partners worldwide, retail stores, and anyway, so there it is. So I thought, since you're a perennial Croc wearer, you know, because you're disheveled and slovenly, do you wear those to?
I wear them everywhere I can. Like I can't wear them to like General RV.
That's what I'm saying. So when you sell RVs at General RV after the show,
they have an anti-Croc.
They have
policy,
an anti-Croc policy,
which they had to do that because of me.
They have anti-Croc, anti-crack. Yes.
Actually, crack is
well.
Fine.
They don't have an anti-Shrek policy because you are working there.
Yes, but. Look at these radio-inspired gibbets, MJ. If you got a pair of Crocs, I'd get you the headphone
hold on.
ones.
There's a whole market of crap like pins, like Flair that you can plug into your damn shoe?
It's $1 billion industry.
Get out of here.
Okay, it's tens of millions of dollars industry.
Selling things to plug into your croc holes?
Yes. Look, I typed in.
You're a croc hole.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, I am. But
oh man,
I love the Croc. I was thinking the other day, I would buy 10 different color Crocs. I'd wear them all the time. I would throw every pair of sneakers out.
Oh, boy, what a...
I wear Crocs with socks sometimes. I'd wear socks to weddings. I'd wear socks to funerals.
Are you going to wear the Shrek Crocs?
No, because they have a large line of Crocs. It's a little too cartoony for me. I don't need extra cartooniness.
I think they should call those Shrocks.
Shrocks.
Not bad.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah! Or,
man,
that's a great song, too.
So much good stuff.
Yeah. Brass Monkey. I would be in favor of them if they didn't meet the criteria for community service. I like the idea of Beastie Boys Square. I wonder if that's going to be a sign that's going to be repeatedly stolen.
I'd steal it. Absolutely. Yeah, no question.
Just a heads up on that. What did I? There was one other thing that I teased. Oh, pet owners. I teased this. I said something about 4 in 10 pet owners. Did I capture anyone's attention? You guys don't have a pet, do you, Roxanne?
No, but every day my kids ask for one, especially Daviana.
Yeah, get them a dog.
They want one.
Yeah, why don't you make PETA happy and instead of they remember Pete Davidson pissed them off.
Oh yeah. Oh, and we heard from them.
They wrote us unbelievably. Roxanne got an email and I got an email to our corporate email. How'd they get our corporate Beasley email addresses?
They would have had to picked up the phone and made some phone calls.
So we got a call. We got an email, both of us, from PETA saying they heard about our discussion about Pete Davidson and Pete Davidson, remember months ago, left them a vulgar answering machine message, a voicemail.
I just realized his name is almost PETA.
Peter Davidson? Yeah, I think I think I mentioned that.
We?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we did.
Okay.
So PETA, they introduced this new Pete Davidson angry voicemail leaving Halloween costume.
Right.
And we talked about this last week. And then PETA reaches out, hey, we heard that you were mentioning us. And because I did say, listen, I don't always support PETA's tactics, but I do agree that if you can adopt from a shelter, then you should go ahead and do it. I fully support that. Listen, if you also want to get a purebred from a breeder, listen, there are plenty of purebreds at shelters as well. You just got to, go look and see if they have what you're looking for. And I encourage you, if you can and want to adopt a pet in a shelter, I think that's fantastic, and I fully support that. But I also don't think that people that want to go to a breeder and get a puppy at 7 or 8 weeks, I don't think they should be chastised either. So here's the deal. In the final moments of the MJ Morning Show, 4 in 10 pet owners would take a pay cut to work from home to be with their pets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had a lot of, homework, obviously, with the whole pandemic thing, and a lot of that starting to end, and, hey, get your asses back to work. But 4 in 10 owners would take a pay cut to work from home with their pets. And with that, we shall leave it there and call it a day. Remember, folks, it is the 9/11 anniversary. 22 years ago today. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So please never forget 9/11, folks. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Please tell 3 people a day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Let's be careful out there.